all right. Let's go. All right, let's do it. Shalom.
The East is where we're from. The 12 tribes of Israel. In 721 BC, the Assyrian king, he took us down, we fell. With a great escape, we went through the Euphrates. The Lord held the water still. To a land where no mankind dwelt, we went. The 12 tribes of Israel. That's who we be. Manasseh, the Cubans, Ephraim from Puerto Rico, and Valley from the Isles of Hawaii. The Lord is calling back Israel. Zebulon from Panama, Gad, the North American Indians, Simeon, the Dominicans. AHAYAH's gathering Israel. The Arabs and Africans told us at gunpoint. Together our wives and children then sold us. In the belly of these great ships we traveled in fear. By the rivers of Babylon we found our brothers here. AHAYAH gather us in Colombia. Oh, Reuben from Australia. Issachar, the Mexicans. AHAYAH's gathering Israel. Judah, the Negroes. Benjamin, the West Indians. Levi, the Haitians. AHAYAH's gathering Israel.
Oh, the 10 tribes type vibe, the Caribbean vibe on that boy. Have him shimmying, young man. Yeah.
In Colombia, Reuben from Australia, Issachar, the Mexicans. That's who we be. Judah, the Negroes, Benjamin, the West Indians.
All right.
Levi,
that's right.
The Haitians.
Oh,
Manasseh, the Cubans.
yeah.
From Puerto Rico, and Valley from the Isles of Hawaii. The Lord is calling back Israel. Zebulon from Panama, Gad, the North American Indians, Simeon, the Dominicans. AHAYAH's gathering Israel.
Shalom, brothers and sisters. I'm Elder Ricard Shiara, along with the elders of the Gathered of Christ Church. We're live here on a Thursday night. That's right. We're a little off schedule after Purim. So I hope you don't mind. I apologize for not being there for those who was awaiting us last night, but we had things to do. There's a lot of planning going on, and that's right. Right after the Purim, first of all, we had a great gathering here in the United States with the Philadelphia congregation. The brothers and sisters, were absolutely inviting, and we thank you brothers and sisters, for putting together a beautiful gathering. And it's poignant. It's almost eerie that in the midst of an attack against the children of Israel, we are celebrating the Most High's Purim, okay, in which He put the Spirit on a sister by the name of Esther. Okay, and this sister got in good with the king, became the queen, and got rid of Amalek, who was looking to number the children of Israel and systematically exterminate all of our people who were scattered within those regions of Persia. Okay, from India to Ethiopia, Amalek was looking to destroy us. And guess what? If it wasn't for the Most High blessing Mordecai, the prophet, as well as a sister by the name of Esther, they would have exterminated our people over in that region. But that's why we're celebrating, and that's the reason for the season. Okay, we don't celebrate Christmas. We celebrate Purim, and we give gifts with the understanding of what? Of Purim, not Christmas. Okay, and again, that's the righteous holy day or holiday to give gifts on, not Saturnalia or Christmas. Now, jumping right in. I know we're pretty early. We're going to make this a quick broadcast. I'm going to open up the lines early because I need to hear. A matter of fact, let me put the number up there so you all can have it here. One moment. Make sure y'all see the number for the blog. We're going to put the number there because we're going to make sure there's some calls this evening. Open up the lines because I want to hear your answers on this particular topic that I want to discuss this evening, okay? And there's a lot going on right now. Right now you have what you would call a storm of biblical proportions. Now, a few years ago, I went into the weather machine that was outside of Arizona and Texas, a thing that causes storms and all that in the Texas areas where they were dealing with some weird type of weather back then, storms, tropical storms that were directed through quote unquote HARP, right? So if y'all don't know, weather warfare is true. It's correct. It's been out there. Okay. As a matter of fact, in the 1950s, Russia, during the 1950s, I believe, there was a treaty signed between America and Russia in which they could not use weather warfare against one another. Now we're in an environment in which there's one event after the next. They're looking to suppress the people, force them inside. And yes, there's some pushback from Texas. And all of a sudden, the lights go out. Right? All of a sudden, the lights go out. I need you all to, real quick, I'm going to put this up here. I'm going to put this up here so you all can see it. Yes, we're going to be going into this. But before I go into that, I want to show you all a few things right here that y'all probably didn't know exist. Okay? Weather warfare is true. Even throughout the ancient times, you had the pagans sacrificing to the gods in return of technology and good weather. Okay, even the North American Indians fell victim to those practices where they would get certain information from demons and all that would show them how to salt the clouds for rain. So weather warfare has always been a tool between man and the fallen ones. For those who are in the Hebrew and Bible Academy, you'll understand clearly that we are not alone, that the people in this earth under religions, under these satanic religions, are worshiping demons and are getting information from demons. A clear way to know if someone have received information from demons, for the everyday man to understand, when the powers that be label a person a genius. For everyday people who don't know what the interactions when people are getting information from demons or the dark world, when you hear the news and others, academia calling people geniuses, you know that they have gotten this information not from the Most High, but from the dark side. Genie or genius come from the root word jinn, which means what? A spirit, a shadim, a demon. Okay? So when you hear a genie, that comes from the word jinn, like Aladdin's lamp, make a wish. So these are people who have, through occult practices, opened their spirit to what? Demonic forces for information. Usually these people are used against society. They upheld as billionaires, people of serious renown, and should be respected from a what you would call, high intellect level. But they didn't receive this information like you and I studying books. They open their spirit, or their chakra as they call it, in connection to the spirit world, the world we cannot see. And this world labels them genies. Genies, okay? Geniuses get their information from genies, okay? This is an occult practice. For those who don't know, this news is out there. It's the fallen ones who have given the powers that be the technology to do what we're seeing today, shut things down in their worships to the gods. Trump briefed on weather warfare in Texas. That's right. As Texans froze in Uri's key grip, so-called President Trump, they still call him President Trump? Yeah, I guess ex-presidents are still called presidents. Yeah. President Donald Trump in balmy Florida entertained an unexpected visitor. A physicist who was once at the top of his list, albeit a short list, for chief scientific advisor to the president, according to a source in Trump's orbit speaking under promise of anonymity. Dr. William Happer, professor emeritus at Princeton University, is an American physicist who has specialized in the study of atomic physics, optics, and spectroscopy. From 1991 to 1993, he served as a director of the Department of Energy Office of Science under George W. Bush's administration, but was fired by 1993 by the Clinton administration after he failed to convince Bill that science behind the global warming movement was deeply flawed. In short, Dr. Happer has unimpeachable credentials, and a stellar history of academic excellence. Harper went to Mar-a-Lago with a warning. He told Trump neither Mother Nature nor fictitious tales of earth-shattering climate change was responsible for the storm that had brought the Lone Star State to its knees. A fifth of the state's electricity transmission plants collapsed, and over 4 million Texans froze in the dark, many without water too. Dr. Happer, our source said, told Trump that the biblical storm was a product of weather warfare. Look that up, weather warfare. There was a treaty between Russia and America when they was drumming up this campaign, this thing of the Cold War. They had an agreement that regardless of differences, each country would not use weather warfare one against another. Weather warfare, a technology called HAARP, H-A-A-R-P, Happer said, had been weaponized and directed at Texas, possibly as a warning to the Republican states that have eschewed Biden's Code 45 policies, and I call it Code 45, they call it COVID-19, potatoes, whatever. Policies are promised to fight his dissection of the Second Amendment. That's right, the right to bear arms. Texas is looking to secede from the Union because they know that this administration, the people who control the president, will next come after, that's right, the right for one to protect himself from tyranny by disarming the population. And this is one of the first shots over the barrel. A lot of you didn't know this. Weather warfare exists. Look it up. They have machines that they can make clouds. Now, a telltale sign that weather warfare is being used against the population, if you look up in the sky and see a tic-tac-toe going on. If you see a tic-tac-toe going on in the sky, these are metals that are being strove in the air that can be controlled through waves. Okay? Another clear sign, if you see a pattern, an unnatural pattern of clouds where you see lines through them, that's not a natural occurrence. That happens through frequencies. Okay, and through this frequency, through this grid, they could do what? They can move The Most High does his regular weather, but they can move the patterns that comes within the earth through HAARP. Look it up, HAARP. So what they're doing is they're using weather warfare against the population, for those who can see. Satan's weapons against those who would oppose them. I want to put that all out there, okay? So, because, folks, what's happening is we're so caught up into our everyday goings, we rarely look up and see what's going on over us. This is warfare. But at the end, that's right, our God wins. Okay, now I have other news and all that, but let me jump right into the broadcast before I go in. First of all, I would like to say hello to Elder Lawyer. How are you, Elder Lawyer? Okay, let me first go here.
Shalom, sir.
All right, one moment. Let me, yeah. So you can hear me clearly, right, Elder Lawyer?
Yes, sir. Loud and clear.
All right, I'm going to jump right into the topic, and I'm going to need you all to join us on the broadcast. Please hit the like button as we go into this topic, because why? This is a needed dialogue, I would like to call it. A meeting of minds. We can all come with why this is so and what are the solutions when it comes to this, as I put out this particular question. Is there a unified front against wickedness? You see what's going on in the earth. Is there a unified front against wickedness? And if not, why? If someone asks you that question, because it seems like everyone in the earth claims, if you ask each individual, every person claims to be good or have good intentions. I've never met a person who said, well, they're bad, they're evil, or have evil intentions, right? So my question is this, because when I look on the other side, when it comes to wickedness, it seems as if there's a unified front against righteousness, straight out. But yet there's no unified front to oppose the wickedness. Case in point. We done went from, and I seen this on a news program, Elder Lawyer, HBO, where you had this woman who was bugged out of her mind with a boy and had her son dressed like a little girl, and had the boy up there, and the boy, and he was, where she was saying, tell the people how you would like to celebrate, your transition and all that. And the little boy couldn't have been no older than 5 or 6 years old, was on stage telling his mother, I don't want to do this. I don't agree with this. She had her boy dressed up like a girl. And she's feeling ashamed because she's feeling her son is embarrassing her, or her quote unquote daughter is embarrassing her. Right? But the boy is clearly fighting against this. Like, Mom, no, I'm a boy. And there's more defense and political push for this woman, this crazed woman who should be locked up somewhere, opposed to a society rallying together and saying and agreeing that this woman is abusing her son. It's clear the child is pushing back at this. So there's a unified front to actually back this woman's delusion, opposed to protecting the child. Like what has happened in this earth where we'll sit back here? Guess what? There is no lack of religion in this earth. We got Christianity, we have Islam, we have Buddhists, we have everyone talking about there being good people, letting Satanists and wickedness run roughshod over people, over children. And that's one of many examples. One example, case in point, is what I mentioned during the parim. I apologize for those who was here yesterday, and I couldn't be here. That's why I told the transfer, because believe it or not, we're working on growing food. So I had to transition right out of the parim and do my preparation so that when this weather break, we'll be able to grow our own food. It doesn't matter what happens out there, we'll be able to transport and help our people who need food. So I was busy doing that for those who wasn't here yesterday. Don't worry about it. Guess what? When I'm not on here, we're working. We're not talking about it, because when they shut things down, we're going to be shipping potatoes, onions, you name it, to the people who need it. It's not talking about what we're going to do for the community. Okay? We're putting what the Most High has given us to work. And that's why we weren't here. By the time we finished unpacking and doing everything we had to do yesterday, hey, it was too late. Okay, I would have came on 10, 11 o'clock last night, and I was working since early morning, since I got up 7 in the morning and was working up until the time, we got back, 10, almost 10 o'clock. Had to take trucks back and all that. Okay, so I apologize for those who wasn't here, but we are working. We know what they're planning. So we have to make sure there's some level of provisions for our people. And that's one thing about truth. You put truth to work. It's more than believing. It's actually not being reactionary, understanding prophecy to get in front of it to help people is what it's all about. Now, case in point, right? I said case in point, right? I need you all to look at your screen real quick. We're going to get this in a second, right? I need you all to look at your screen here. 1 second here. I need you all to look at your screen. All right? 1 second here. All right, we're going to put this one to the side here. And U.S. court ruling allows Satanism to be taught in school. Right? Folks, you need to see this. I'm going to play this here so you all can hear it. Listen.
Satanism in schools sounds like the stuff of horror movies, but a US court ruling on religious freedoms has enabled devil worshippers in Florida to hand out educational material about their beliefs to kids at state schools. Reporter AHAYAH has this report.
Public education in America often uses coloring books to teach young Americans about math, science, and current events. This year, a new book filled with games and lessons about Satanism could be distributed to students attending public school in Florida's Orange County. The 10-page Satanic Children's Big Book of Activities features characters named Annabelle and Damien who demonstrate rituals to explain Satanism. This expanding wealth of information for America's young minds was made possible after a Florida judge last month ruled that if the Orange County School District allowed Christian groups to disseminate Bibles and other materials in its schools, then other religious and atheist groups should be given the same right to distribute their material. And followers of the Antichrist seized on the decision to treat all faiths equally. A spokesman for the Satanic Temple tells Raw Story that, quote, if a public school board is going to allow religious pamphlets and full Bibles to be distributed to students, as is the case in Orange County, Florida, we think the responsible thing to do is to ensure that these students are given access to a variety of different religious opinions, as opposed to standing idly by while one religious voice dominates the discourse and delivers propaganda to youth, unquote. In a ruling that was aimed at maintaining religious neutrality, students who may never have intended to learn about Christianity, atheism, or Satanism will now receive an introduction to all three. Marina Portnaya, RT.
Man, I'm almost lost without words. Elder Lloyd, you seen that?
This is my first time actually seeing this this report.
I'm going to ask a question, Elder Lawyer, because it seems as if Satanists are working around the clock while those who claim to be good people, who believe in God, it's just sitting idly by, letting this whole agenda run over their children. Is there a unified front against wickedness, Lawyer? And if not, why? Go on.
Man, that's a pretty, I would say, to say the least, a pretty loaded question. Is there a unified front against wickedness? I think the issue is that those who would proclaim to be standing at the forefront against wickedness, they themselves are proponents of wickedness. If you think about certain either religious groups or certain religious organizations, their ideologies actually contribute to the propagation of wickedness in the earth. If you, for example, if you were to look at certain Christian churches or churches who at least proclaim to be upholders of the Christian faith or Christian belief, many of them, as we know, have been sold out to prosperity doctrine, to weak, doctrine pushing weak values, not taking a particular or a strong stance against sin, being accepting of certain sinful activities, which again weakens the teaching and the doctrine of the Bible, not putting forth the understanding that we are to keep the commandments of God. So those who have been put forward or who are standing in the forefront, proclaiming to be the propagators of righteousness and truth against sin, they themselves have been given over to a weak, watered down brand of Christianity, which does not present a defense against the teachings of sin, such as what we see and what we saw in that last broadcast. Man,
Well,
why
Lord,
not?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah,
I'm
go
listening. No, go ahead. Why not? No, go ahead.
Yeah, why not? I think for many reasons, right? We know, for example, if we're going to deal with the prosperity aspect of things, we know that the love of money is the root of all evil. So if that's the case, and you're telling people in your ministry or in your teaching and your sermon, I love money, money cometh unto me, let's anoint the money, so on and so forth, and there's no balance, there is no teaching of morality, there's no teaching of the commandments, you're pretty much giving yourself over to evil, or at least put yourself in a position where your stance against evil has become weakened because your love for money is more, it's more, or your love for money is actually outgrown your love for righteousness, or your love for morality and truth and things of that nature. And, we can go on and on about the different factions of religions, whether it be factions of Islam, who also proclaim to be upholders of righteousness, who themselves are propagators of things that are against the commandments of God, which again weakens their stance against evil. But that's pretty much it for now.
Well, I'm glad you brought that out, and those were some good points, Elder Lawyer. And I'm sure you brothers and sisters have some points of your own that you can chime in with. Here's a question that I think will actually jog some level of thinking towards solution. Here's a good question. Another question I'm gonna put out there. The first question is there a unified front against wickedness? If not, why? One reason to why there's no unified front is because I don't think people, even in religion, Elder Lawyer, is being taught what good is. Good,
Yeah.
good has become subjective. What is good? And here it is. You can ask a fully religious person, a Bible thumper, someone who went to Islam in particular. If you ask them in particular, we all know what evil is and wickedness is, but what's good? Immediately, even the most righteous zealot, when it comes to the Bible or anything, would need to actually reflect before answering the question. No one is being taught what good is. We can point to and complain about how evil and how things have went to hell and all that, but could it be the fact that this world lacks the knowledge of good? So there's why this is one reason there's no unified front. And could it be the whole time that knowledge of good is omitted purposely from society within the religions we follow in number? Because that's right, because Lucifer, the evil one, is at the helm of your religions. Because I would have thought that Christians, Buddhists, and Muslims would all agree on what good and evil is, since they claim, lawyer, that it's all the same God at the top of these religions. So if it's the same God and it's really the same religion being worshipped in different languages and practiced different ways, why can't they agree on what's good and what's evil? And being that the God of the Bible isn't the author of confusion, why are the people who are predominantly people in the earth who are religious, why we're living in a time in which they're so confused? There's no lack of religion, but yet the people are more confused. And while they're sitting back confused, Satan is running roughshod with wickedness, politically and otherwise, aiming it towards our children without resistance. Could it be Satan is behind their religions, and thereby the people under these religions believe that good or bad is subjective? Could that be? 100%. One other thing, how you know when evil is unified against good. Because all of these other options, when people claim there's many ways to get to God, all of these many ways agree that the Bible isn't the key. There's something that's eerily familiar in all these areas. It doesn't matter whether it be alternative lifestyles, whether it be alternative religions, Mesopotamia religions, ancient religions, even Satanists, atheists. They all agree that the Bible is bad. Even Christians. I sat there with a Christian who claimed to be a pastor, and he said, well, the Bible is okay, but, there's more than the Bible. You have Muslims who are saying that the Bible's tampered with and don't deal with the Bible. One thing I can understand is that all others with no answers are unified together with one mind, one thought, that the Bible is incorrect. Could it be the Bible is the good thing? And could it be they're against the Bible because it shines light on their darkness and their wicked intentions against society? Elder Lawyer, let's get real quick where it says that Satan himself would appear as an angel of light. Let's go there. That's right. Hit that like button. We're going in. Is there a unified front against wickedness in this earth? If so, is there a unified front against wickedness? That's the question. Okay? We need you all to call in. And if not, If there's not a unified front, why? Why didn't we all come together with all this belief in God and being good people to stomp out this campaign of this gender neutrality and all this other stuff aimed towards our children? With all this religion out there, you would think Christians and Muslims and those who just are good people would have came together and said, enough is enough already. Why is it that influence of righteous people and good people? Why aren't we seeing the residuals or the payback of these good people that are controlling our schools? Why are our children coming out dumber and more wicked than ever? And usually you learn wickedness from who? Your teachers. All this religion and these religious factories are pumping out what we see as a society today. Elder Lawyer, let's read it.
Yes, sir. We're in 2 Corinthians 11, verse number 13.
Come on.
For such are false apostles, deceitful workers, transforming themselves into the apostles of Christ. And no marvel, for Satan himself is transformed into an angel of light.
Could it be that the God our people and the religious people in this earth have been following was Satan all along? And this is why you are in agreement with, and there's no resistance with the Satanists now, after working on the political side to get the Bibles out of the school, are now saying it's okay to pass out satanic literature to our children? Could it be that you're not in disagreement with it because you were following Satan the whole time through your pagan practices? Even subconsciously, there was something in agreement with what's wrong, what's bad. Could that be? Let's see, because the Bible even tells us that at the very end, the whole world would be deceived and have this strong delusion and would believe a lie. The lie at its apex is that you've been worshiping Satan the whole time and enjoying it. That's why there's no resistance against it. It's do as thou wilt. Could that be? Could that be why all these others, including the letter people, are all in agreement that the Bible is bad? Not to follow the Bible? How is the Bible? The Bible is like a cross to vampires to them. And they're all in agreement, be it the conscious community, be it the Muslims, be it even Christians now. They're all in agreement that we shouldn't deal with the Bible because it's highlighting the, I'm going to prove it to you. It's highlighting the God they've been worshiping the whole time. Let me tell you, folks, at the helm and at the height of all these religions are satanic lunatics sacrificing to their gods. And the only book that can highlight these practices and its origin is the Bible. And this is why Satan is saying, no, don't read the Bible. No, don't reveal me. If you reveal me, I won't have access to your children, to change your children into hermaphrodites, and to confuse their minds, and to sacrifice them to Moloch. Okay? Don't wake up to our old practices. We need you, wicked and evil. Why? To have access to your children. Elder Lawyer, let's get it. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer? Let's get it in Isaiah. Let's go.
Yes, sir. We're in Isaiah chapter 14, verse 12, where it says, How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning?
Son of the morning. Now, I'm pulling this up real quick because I want to show you all real quick out of the Hebrew. Out of the Hebrew, okay? We don't usually do this because we usually do our classes usually with, with the academy. A lot of you, thank you for your support. You got to get in there. But from a a biblical theological standpoint, we need to really pinpoint what's going on here. Lucifer, when you look at that word Lucifer there, right, in the Strong's, let me go there. Lucifer. What does it say here? Lucifer is who? Halal. Halal. So the God, the fallen name of Lucifer is Halal. How have thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer? Read, Elder Lawyer.
Son of the morning.
Son of the morning. Halal. Where did I hear that name before? Oh, I know. Muslims. They set up a store as immigrants in our neighborhood and sell us Lucifer's meat. Halal meat. Lucifer's meat. So you're going and you're actually converting into Islam as an alternative from the white man Christianity, as you claim, only to worship Lucifer front and center. Huh? What? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, halal. And then when you go into the pagan books that they have, it tell you who halal is. And I got some of their information. I got some of their history right here. Halal. Who's halal? A fallen angel. Satan. Lucifer. Look at this here, a Canaanitish mythology of a fallen angel. And you're sitting there thinking that it's okay to go inside these stores and, yeah, you use that as a badge of honor. I'm not eating any meat. I'm eating Lucifer's meat, Satan's meat, and wonder why our children are going absolutely ape in the community when their imams are Luciferians at the helm. This is why they don't want you in the Bible, because we can identify, we have done research on the priesthood of the Arabs, of Ishmael, okay, and Esau. And they are working the same under a Canaanitish God. And at the helm of both religions are Satan. Satan. Oh yeah, we got you. Okay, all right. Now, we've already made these videos where you have to be 18 and over to actually click in to agree. And this is why we're being shadow banned, because a lot of what we show, you know, they claim you have to be 18 years of age to see. Why? It's truth. Why? Look at your screen real quick. I'm going to show you why, you know, these shadow bans are happening, right? Right? I need y'all to look at y'all screen. I'm going to bring you back in, Elder Lawyer, in a minute. Look back at your screen. This goes on in India under the Islamic faith. Fair use. Fair use. So we're telling you over here that you need to stop listening to these people who are coming over here. There's no coincidence that these people, these immigrants that come over here and set up mosques and all that, end up running the economics in our community. That's a religious war against the poor, folks. They must bring ancient gods over here to do what? To bond the spirits of those in the community. You believe these people are coming over here just to do business? No. The Bible says where your treasures are, your heart shall be also. If you give your money to them, you are in agreement with the gods they serve. Listen to what we're showing you here. Here's an ancient, now, what is this? Hold up, we got the receipts. What is this? Ashara Day. Who's Ashara? Ashara is Ashtoreth, the Virgin Mother of Babylon. So yes, the Virgin Mother of Babylon is not only being worshipped in Christianity, but also under Islam. Shia Muslims mutate themselves and their children. Warning, graphic images. Huh? Thousands of men took to the streets of Iraq, Afghanistan, India, Lebanon, and other countries on Saturday, cutting themselves with swords and knives and sharp chains. What do this have to do with God? And you wonder why the earth is in such a wreck right now. Oh, I'm a Muslim. Being Islam is just a way of life, is what they claim. Look at this. What do God have to do with this? Look at this. What does God have to do with this? Huh? Somebody tell me if this is not a sacrifice to lower gods and they come into your community and shut up a shop and you think they don't have an effect on your children? When these Satan worshipers who drink blood come in your communities and begin to do what? Set up stores, give out tracts and all that, saying don't follow the Bible. They are targeting those in the Bible, out of the Bible. Your children walking by and seeing these tracts all in their neighborhoods, not understanding that they're being usurped religiously by these pagans. Look at this. Look. What's going on here? What do God have to do with this? And you wonder why there's so much confusion and no pushback against unrighteousness. Because our children are learning from these guys. Look, what is it? Well, somebody tell me what this got to do with Christ and God. Huh? What? What does it have to do? Right? There's more. I'm only going to show a little bit of this. They cutting themselves to Asherah. Hold up. This guy got loose with it. Fair use. With the ambulance is waiting on the side for him. There you go. Yeah. That was something God wants. Coming with it. Now, for those who would claim that this is just a Christian thing, folks, the Jesuits have this same practice. They call themselves flogging themselves, taking on the whips or the stripes of Christ, when really it's what? You got it. I'm giving y'all some info today. I'm giving y'all some info to research, to look it up. AHAYAH Day. Bloodletting to a goddess, a virgin goddess of Ashtoreth. It's called bloodletting. Bloodletting, folks. Okay? And this magic happens in different segments of our society right out in front without you seeing it, without us recognizing it. Years ago, there was a thing out there, Elder Lawyer. I'm sure we did the news on this in the academy, where you showed Kim Kardashian using baby's blood in her facials with needles to stay, as he called it, to stay young. Look at it. Look it up. Matter of fact, I'll pull this up real quick so you all can see it if y'all think I'm making this up. And we all know that her family come from a long line of gypsies, straight witches. I'm going to just type this into Google. Kim Kardashian blood facial. See what comes up. Oh, yeah. Look, I just typed it up to y'all. Y'all think I'm messing around with you? Look at it. Y'all think we make this up? Huh? They do it right in front of you. The worships. And guess what? That's right. She just divorced. Hey, Kanye was looking to get a place out somewhere and wanted them to leave the city and leave the social media and go out into the wilderness knowing something is coming and live off the earth. She says, get out of here, dude. Don't you understand? I'm Satan's daughter. I'm taking your kids. They are a sacrifice. Okay? We don't need you. We have your semen. We have your children. And we'll dictate the future legacy of your children. The Satanist. She was nothing more than a handler. But he was breaking rank. There you go right there. They don't care about him because they got the blood of his children. Oh, hey, it happens right in front of you. And we sit back and think this is entertainment and participate in it, not realizing that good people should be fighting evil, identifying it, praying against it, and standing up. There's more. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Because there's more. Let's see what else we have here. There's more. And then, I'm going to let you in, Elder Lloyd, and then we're going to talk. See? Next thing you know, they hired people to bring that religion and make that religion popular within our communities, unknowingly to some of the ministers at that time. They just thought that it would be an alternative religion to oppose white Christianity. Not realizing Ishmael and Esau was working together. Two sides playing against the middle. That's right. You see who? Fard Muhammad, who was known as a hustler, who was hustling heroin. His new hustle became peddling Islam at a time in which our people were united with the Bible. We didn't have everything because the seals weren't broken at that time as far as the mysteries of the book. But we stood on the Bible, and on top of standing on the Bible, we as a people were unified under Christ before this happened. Who's this? Fard Muhammad, Elijah Muhammad, Malcolm X, Farrakhan. Huh? There you go right there. FBI had paperwork on this guy, as not only this guy was in jail for heroin. And his new hustle became peddling social justice under the black man's religion, Islam. Knowing what goes on in the Middle East, what I've just shown. A straight sacrifice to Asherah. Huh? Right here is what we're seeing is at the corner of the Kaaba stone. Look at it. A woman's member at the corner of the Kaaba in honor of Asherah, the female deity being worshipped of Persian mythology, the same as Mary, who's worshipped in America, in Christianity today. Now, there's more. A lot of you have to get that history in the books and all of the different sources, of course. You have to get to the Hebrew and Bible Academy because we break this stuff down. This is how we know the Bible is the undisputed champion of books. It's through the Bible. The Bible gave us the tools and the keys to break down its mystery, to actually get to the the base of every religion Satan has been using to destroy our people and how to oppose the wickedness. It's all in the Bible. Where the greatest tool of Satan used is fear. And the Bible teaches us as followers of Christ, followers of the Bible, how to overcome fear, to oppose their frontal attack. This is why right now there's a campaign to shut people up who teaches the Bible, because it's the only weapon that they know can destroy their ideologies and their impositions against righteousness. Huh? The Bible, folks, is the key. Question for those who just came in. Is there a unified front against wickedness? And if not, why? We just showed you right out that Lucifer is the god of Islam. They never, guess what? They never denied that. Even when they say Allah, that comes from Alat, a female deity that goes right back to Ashara, the mother of Nimrod. It's a female deity, folks. And wait till you see what we're about to pull out concerning that rock of the Kaaba stone in future classes. You would never believe the true history behind it and the spirit of Nimrod attached to it. But I'm going to tell you, folks, fiction is way stranger than life. And I'm talking about the spirit of Nimrod, which resides within the power structure of this earth till this day. And we're going to talk about that in connection with that, what they call the Kaaba. That Kaaba have history well back, way back before there was any such thing as Islam. You would never believe what it is. But it links directly to Lucifer, Satan. I can't go into all that tonight because these are historical studies that we have to delve into from a school standpoint. But folks, but I will tell you this. When it comes to that, Elder Lawyer, I want to talk about it, stating or asking that question again, right? Is there a unified front against wickedness? And if not, why? Because everyone claims to be good, but no one is standing up against unrighteousness. Because no one is being taught what good is. All this church, all this Islam, all this Christianity, and the majority of people that go to these places don't even know what good is. Why? Because like Christianity, like Islam, we as a people don't have priests who stand for good, who stand for the laws, statutes, and commandments of God. And one other thing we don't have, and it's a shame, even if we did have that, we don't have a structure set up within our people, within our communities, to enforce righteousness. You can't have a law established without some type of law to govern and enforce the righteousness. And that's on purpose too. That's on purpose too. When the law comes into our house, it's not, well, who broke the laws of God? You right? You can have a person who did dead wrong, but if they're being assailed based on their wrong, it's the aggressor. They're not asking or getting to the root issue of what caused the conflict. This person could have broke every law of God against this person. And when a cop come, they see the retaliation and go after the aggressor. When in the Bible, we used to get to the root matter, rip out that spirit by figuring out what happened. There's two women fighting against each other. Yeah, they come before Solomon's court. That's my baby. That baby is my baby. No, that's my baby. Her baby died. And while I was asleep, she switched babies, sitting there fighting against each other. And the one that was the aggressor would have been the real mother, right? The police would have went against the real mother. But Solomon said, no, let's get to the bottom of this. Bring the baby here because you both are right. You both can have a piece of this baby. Pass me the sword. And the mother said, no, 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 don't kill my baby. Give her the baby. Give her the baby. See, but he had the power of the sword to enforce righteousness, which led to what? Good. Ripping out the accuser and doing what? Judging the accuser as an example of what not to do to destroy an Israelite community. See why they don't want that Bible? See why they're against that Bible? This is why, because we don't have a priesthood. As a matter of fact, Hosea 4 and 6, Elder Lawyer, and Isaiah 5 and 13. Let's read it. Thank you all for hitting the like button for me. We appreciate that. Let's go. Let's go. Come on.
Yes, sir. We're in the book of Hosea 4 and 6, which says, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge.
And the knowledge we lack is that our religious leaders were taught by Satanists. Straight out. The AME church was set up as a Masonic fraternity first, against the truth of others who was teaching during that same time period, like Gabriel Prosser and others who were teaching that the people coming off the shores of Africa aren't Africans, they're Israelites. So Esau had to make, and we were learning this from the Bible. This is why they would punish you for reading, but they would kill you. They would kill us in slavery for reading the Bible. If the Bible was a white man's book, then why were they enforcing what? Capital punishment if we read it? It was always the answer to freedom. It was always a book that had clear markers concerning or clear understanding when pointing out good or evil. That's the whole point of the book. So that we as a people can understand where the moral line lies for humanity, where good isn't subjective. Evil isn't subjective. It's not how you feel. Good or evil isn't a feeling, it's an action. They didn't want the Bible because the Bible identified when someone is trying to get over on you, when someone is a shuckster, when someone is a scammer. The Bible identified what a thief looks like. Okay? And what judgment to do for that thief. You wouldn't have no guy running around talking about, yeah, give me some money for a school. At the same time, he's at graveyards pouring all types of libations to dead people. Like, listen, I don't support witches and warlocks, let alone some charlatan, some demon running around stealing from our people, because you would be able to identify him by his actions. The Bible identifies what a witch looks like, what a sorcerer looks like. These people from Black Lives Matter running around with black wings on and saying that they worship all these different goddesses and all that. You wouldn't support them because you know what a witch looked like according to God. People talk about the Orishas and the Ogun. Okay, you are a sorcerer. You're a magician. Get out of my face. Get out of my community. I'm not giving you a dime. The Bible says, where my treasures are, my heart shall be also. If I give you money, that means I agree with your wickedness. So we just allow people to tickle our ears and initiate us into their ritualistic Satanist ways. And this is why they attack the Bible, because the Bible identifies the ills in our community. And we'll never be able to clean our community up with not just what the powers that be are planning against us. How we allow lawlessness to fester amongst ourselves. Because no one can identify what good is. You will let people straight out come and lie to you. Oh, the Bible is tampered with. Yeah, here's my Bible. Where was it tampered? Show me what was tampered. And they'll look at you. Because why? Why? Why would they just look at you and won't give you prove what they're saying? Because they expect us to be ignorant and dumb, like others they run into. You shouldn't allow them to attack the only book that can point to their wickedness. Put the onus back on them. The Bible's tampered with. Prove it to me. I've done it 1,000,000 times, and not one person who made that statement could prove that the Bible is tampered with. So if you didn't know that if you don't know whether or not the Bible is tampered with, why keep making the statements? Why are you so against this book? It's pointing out your wicked behind. That's why. That's why. Isaiah 5:13. Let's go.
Yes, sir. Isaiah chapter 5, verse number 13.
Come on.
And it says, therefore my people are gone into captivity because they have no knowledge.
Read it again.
Therefore my people are gone into captivity because they have no knowledge.
Because they have no knowledge. The knowledge of themselves, the knowledge of their God, and because of that have no knowledge of what good or evil is, right or wrong is, leaving us dangling in the wind in this confused state of mind. Here it is. We're the only people walking amongst each other saying, well, you can't judge this and you can't judge that. You can't judge this and you can't judge that. Every time we talk about the Bible, they say you can't judge and you can't judge. But here it is. I see people from the LGBT community and all that standing up against what they would call cisgender abuse and all that. And we can't come back and say, well, you can't judge us for being this way against you. How is it all the others who are attacking the traditional people of God who have regular values, how can they judge them? I'm looking at CNN and all these others. Every day these people are judging straight people. They're judging people who believe in the Bible. Every day. And we're just sitting back with no unified front and say, well, hold up, there's no double standard. If we can't judge, neither can you. You got us totally silent under this politically correct thing when we can't say anything about what you're doing without being called haters, but yet you're judging us every day. You are abusers. You're Bible thumpers. You're this. We're being attacked, beat down by them with no recourse. There's a unified front against what's right. They can judge, but people in the Bible can't. What's wrong with this picture? Go ahead, Elder Lawyer.
Yes, sir. Isaiah 5, verse 13.
Come on.
Therefore my people are gone into captivity because they have no knowledge.
Because what?
Because they have no knowledge.
Come on.
And their honorable men are famished, and their multitude dried up with thirst.
Read that last piece again for me, Elder Lawyer.
Yes, sir. Therefore my people are gone into captivity because they have no knowledge. And their honorable men are famished, and their multitude dried up with thirst.
Their honorable men are what?
Their honorable men are famished.
Are famished. The honorable this and the honorable that. They're famished. Skull and bone. No meat on the bones. Because they what?
Because they have no knowledge.
Because they don't have no knowledge of the truth. Read.
And their honorable men are famished, and their multitude dried up with thirst.
And their multitude, the people they're teaching, are dried up with thirst. And we can't sit back here, folks, and get ran over by evil and unrighteousness while these evildoers get access to our children. How long are we going to just sit back and allow? They're not going to stop. At first, we thought it was something where they just wanted to be married. Like, hold up, this is getting out of hand. Because really, when you look at it in our community, we've never cared who people sexually dealt with or whatever the case is, or whether they believe something, as long as they didn't have an influence on our family, our children. But now it is having an effect. It is having an effect now. Because it wasn't just about them coming together to do this. No, it's about you accepting us. It was a satanic mission, a unified front to break any morality left in our communities for those who believed in the Bible. That was the agenda the whole time. And we're just sitting back, getting rolled over while our children are jacked. Is there a uniform front against wickedness? And if not, why? We just can't sit back silent anymore. First of all, we need to figure out what that line is when it comes to right or wrong, and stand for something. And stand for something. Somebody come and says, well, my little boy is, and it's whatever the case is, listen, you can come straight out. Listen, your presence right now and what you're dealing with, it's offending me. Okay? I don't believe in none of that. Don't impose that. Do that in your house. I don't need to see no movies about, I don't need to see no documentaries about it. I could care less what you put on your child and how you try to make everyone think that child is happy. We stand with God. We believe the way you were born is who you are. That's it. And I have no problem with anything you're dealing with as long as it don't affect my household. Okay? Don't expect me to live in your delusion. Okay? You can go outside and think the sky is leprechaun green if you would like. That's your choice. But don't try to make me look at the sky and think it's leprechaun green. That's your delusion. It was one time that crazy people were locked up. So they don't let the crazies loose on society, and now in La La Land is looking for everyone, you know, with some spiritual aptitude to play make-believe with them. And it's time, I'm gonna tell you, it's time for people to stand with the word of God. I think the Most High that a few people are saying something. Like this sister here. Listen, you had something to say, you're out? Oh, you good? All right.
And this is a follow-up to the video that I posted this morning, but I put it on my YouTube channel, and I wanted to make one just for Clout Hub, just in case things disappear, like all my other YouTube videos have been disappearing for the past 2 years. I'm in my scrubs now because I was on my way to work this morning to go to a special customer service required class that we all have to take every year. And I got there and the class was canceled. And I asked why, because I was at work till past midnight yesterday, working in OR. And I was told that it was canceled because they're expecting a sharp uptick in the Rona and COVID cases, so the hospital must prepare for it. It is Wednesday, and they told me by next week that is when the uptick is going to happen. And yeah, how interesting. All I can say to you guys is be careful. They told us pre and post anesthesia, which is where you know, I'm part of the anesthesia team, that we're, as of next week, starting Monday, we can't allow family members to come in to visit patients coming in and out of surgery anymore because they're taking up part of our department for COVID cases. This is really awful. You know, I lost an uncle this way in March of 2020 who was supposed to have dialysis, but they didn't give it to him because of the Rona, because of COVID, and ended up dying from it, from freaking a potassium level of 7.3. He ended up having a cardiac arrest. So I'm seeing it from both ends. So watch out for your families. You know how they do. They want to stop you from being around your family members so you won't see what's going on and advocate for them. People aren't getting treatment like they're supposed to. They're not. They're not getting treatment at all. One of our co-workers who works on the anesthesia team with us, her and her husband tested positive for the Rona. They were having a little difficulty breathing and stuff, so they admitted them. 2 days later, they're on the vent. It has been a few months, and they're still on the vent. And all they're getting are breathing treatments. They're not getting anything else. So be careful out there, all right?
All right. I wanted to show that real quick. Wanted to show that to let you know. I thank the Most High that there are sisters and others that are in the field who are standing up and realizing this isn't exactly what they are telling us, what they have told us. It's a reset. It's a Satan attack against civilization. It's what the Bible called Jacob trouble. And this is why I showed the weather warfare to start off with, how Trump and the doctor that went to Trump saying that this is weather warfare in Texas when it comes to the storm and all that. I went there first, and whether he was told that or not, I have information, documents, okay, that I've went into since this ministry began, showing the weather warfare documents, the military documents, the white papers that actually showed that there was a treaty between America and Russia not to use weather warfare against each other. So if you don't think that they can control certain weather patterns, you're out of the know. Look up HARP. It's a weapon. It's a military-grade weapon. And this is why you see them spraying all in the sky tic-tac-toe, because they're using the metals that from the planes to direct what? Storms and clouds. It's the metals they're using that are moving clouds. It's called HARP. It's connected with CERN. And every time they use this machine, they're careful with it because what? It shifts the tectonic plates, and usually subsequent to these storms, you'll hear earthquakes, about more earthquakes, because it harms the earth. So because Texas has pushed back when it comes to their defense of the Second Amendment and all that, that's right. This is a political attack against Texas because Texas was looking to secede from the Union. And what they was going to do after seceding was put Trump as president over Texas. Keep your eyes on that. Okay? Weather warfare. I witnessed that. And why am I breaking it all down? Because it's coming from this initiative is against what? Those who believe in God. Be it weather warfare, be it the educational system, the religious system, everything they have are what? Fiery darts and attacks on believers to break us down so that we can't direct our prayer, unify our thoughts and prayer as one against them. So they're keeping us distracted so that we don't link up to the throne where Satan have no power. They're attacking us on every level, the elderly, the children, on all the, so that we can talk about them to a degree where we're not focused on the spiritual warfare that's needed with believers. We have too many Christian pastors who have totally, they're totally distraught right now and confused to what this is, when they're supposed to be in a position to say, okay, let me reel this back and start over. It's not about what the news is saying. It's not, because this isn't working. I'm burying people every other day. I'm hearing the stories every other day. Obviously, the news I'm getting is coming from the left side. It's coming from the devil. Let me now link in with God and Christ. Turn that crap off and get direction on how I need to fight, not against COVID, against those who controlling the airways, making us believe it exists. We need to begin to spiritually fight and pray and fast on a realm level. That's what pastors need to be doing. What would Christ do? Christ wouldn't be telling the disciples, hey, put on your mask. You got your mask? Or we're about to go into Macedonia. Or we're about to go into Damascus. Disciples, get your mask. Hold up. Don't get on the ship yet. Don't get on the ship. Make sure you take your shots, disciples, before getting on the ship. You can't travel over to the other area because the disease might be there, disciples. No, Peter, did you get your shot? It's time. Nothing else is working, pastors. And if you don't come on the right side and lead your sheep righteously according to this word and bring them back to the law, statutes, and commandments under the will of Christ, you're going to lose your sheep. Not just to other congregations and them just falling off. You're going to lose them. They're going to die under this. Somebody asked me, well, what is my take on all this? Even in the streets, if somebody asked me when I hear the conversation, what you going to do? I'm like, what would Christ do? You got your answer. What would Christ do? All you so-called believers who claim you are good and believe in Christ and are fearful, when the Most High have never given us the spirit of fear. So that people look at me like I'm crazy because I'm walking around as healthy as I can be. Why? Because I know as I believe it, I make it so. It's called the placebo effect. Even they have, on this world term, have understood that if we believe something, that sickness begin to overtake us. We weaken our immunity by believing it. So my answer to all of that is, listen, I'm walking around like the earth is normal, like it always been. Because outside of the talking heads and people scaring everyone, what I'm witnessing is normal. I don't see nobody dropping like flies. I may see it now that people are getting these shots. It wasn't until the shots came out that I saw Hank Aaron, Cicely Tyson, and all these others falling like flies. It wasn't until the shots. Outside of the controlled numbers in these institutions. So my answer to that is I want to be unified in righteousness, just as unified as the evil ones are against the unrighteous. I mean, the evil ones are against us. We need to be unified against the unrighteous. And say, well, no, I'm not believing your sorcery. 80% of their warfare is psychological, to have you believe something is wrong with you. I'm not falling on my own sword. You're not convincing me to fall on the sword. I'm not doing that. Well, what are you going to do? I don't know if I'm going to get it. Are you going to get it? And my answer all day long is, would Christ get it? Now, if you're a Muslim, that's on you. Would Allah tell you to get it? That's between y'all. But I'm a believer in Christ. Okay, and nowhere where I've seen in the Bible that Christ and the disciples got diseases shot in them to ward off a disease. That's stupid science. Okay, let me shoot something in you that you may not run into otherwise that will cause other issues. Just in case you run into it. It sounds dumb, doesn't it? That's not even science. I don't know what that's idiocracy. Oh yeah, let me give you a disease in case you get a disease. Oh, okay, that makes sense. All right, once I get the disease you're shooting in me, will I be able to catch the disease? Absolutely. Yeah, this not saying that you won't be able to catch the disease. Will I be able to spread the disease to someone else if I get the disease shot in me? Yeah. When you get it, you'll be able to spread it to other people. So why am I getting this again? Oh, because it's out there. Because people are dying everywhere. That's okay. But if I get it, it won't stop me from catching the disease, and it won't stop me from giving the disease to someone else who may have underlying issues and may die from it anyway. It doesn't have to make sense, folks, and that's the whole point. It doesn't. This is what happens when Satan rules the world. Confusion rules, and it doesn't have to make sense. There's no practicality with it. But the Bible gives us that practicality because my answer is simple. Our God is not the author of confusion. My answer is simple. What would Christ do? So how could I be a Pied Piper for the powers that be, for the pharmaceutical companies, and sit there and tell a congregation of believers to come and open up a temple of God, a place of faith where you're telling people to have faith in Christ, to only get a disease shot in them? What type of spiritual leader is that? Huh? Elder Lloyd, you have anything to say before I open up the calls here?
Yes, sir. Absolutely. There's a few scriptures I actually wanted to go over. Getting back to the actual question of tonight's discussion, let me see here. Is there a unified front against wickedness? If not, why? And I think the answer to that question is this. Mankind loves sin and wickedness and evil so much that they would easily, or more easily, or rather be unified in evil than to be unified in righteousness. As you mentioned earlier, if you were to ask the general population, if you were to go out and interview people and get a perspective, and you would ask them, do you believe you're a good person? The majority of people would say yes. But then you'll ask those same people, well, what is the standard of good? And based on the standard of good, which we know according to the Bible, Romans 7 says that the law is good. Based on the standard of good, just using the 10 Commandments, ask them, do you steal, or have you ever stolen? 9 times out of 10, the answer would be yes. Have you ever fornicated? The answer would 9 times out of 10 be yes. Have you ever committed adultery? 9 times out of 10, the answer would be yes. Have you ever lied or bore false witness? 9 times out of 10, the answer would be yes. So even amongst the population of people who would state that they're good people, if you were to do a simple analysis, you would quickly find out, and those people who you asked the question to would quickly find out and would have to admit that according to the standard of God, they're not good people. Okay? And getting back to what I was stating earlier, the reason is because mankind would rather unify and would be easily unified under evil more so than righteousness, because according to the Bible, it says this, right? This is Genesis chapter 6, verse 5, right? And I'm going to pair this up with Jeremiah 17, verse 9. It says, and God saw the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every imagination of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually. Jeremiah 17, verse 9 says, the heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. Who can know it? So we all know, I think we covered this either last week or a few weeks ago in the academy, that due to the sin of Adam, mankind of all nations, all races, and all creeds have been affected by a seed, a sinful seed in their heart, which caused them to be more so inclined to a sinful nature, causes them to be more so inclined to the flesh. So if you were to leave mankind to himself, to his own devices, he would slowly but surely descend into perdition, descend into wickedness, descend into evil based on that sinful nature. So just by default, mankind would be easily, more so easily, unified in evil and wickedness, more so than righteousness or good, or have a unified front against good. John 3:19 says, and this is the condemnation, that light has come into the world, and men loved darkness rather than light, because their deeds were evil. So even Christ told us that mankind is more inclined to darkness, more inclined to evil, love evil more so than they love righteousness, love good. Therefore, the whole earth is unified, even if you believe yourself to be a good person, even if to a degree you may not agree with every agenda that comes forward, your actions show that you are still unified with the evil, which goes back to what we were mentioning earlier about the religious sects, the churches, the mosque, so the synagogues, right? They claim to be upholders of righteousness and good, yet their deeds show that they love evil. Okay, a synagogue will come and say that they're the people of the book, or the people of the synagogues will say that they are the people of the book, but yet within the synagogues you have what? Pedophilia. Okay, usury and all types of wicked activities, which show that they are unified more so in evil than in righteousness. Just a few more scriptures here. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 8, verse 11 through 12. Because sentence against an evil work is not executed speedily, therefore the heart of the sons of men is fully set in them to do evil. So we see the wicked operating, we see the wicked prospering, and because of that, we become inclined to jump into and adopt the ways of the wicked. We begin to envy the wicked because we're saying, look, we're trying to live a good life, we're trying to deal with our family, so on and so forth, but these people are not living honestly. These people are living in wickedness, and yet they're prospering. What's to stop me from living the same exact life and prospering in the process? Okay? So again, these are things that bolster and cause mankind to have confidence in evil. It says, though a sinner do evil 100 times, and his days be prolonged, yet surely I know that it shall be well with them that fear God, which fear before him. Just one more scripture, the book of Psalms 82, verse 5. They know not, neither will they understand. They walk on in darkness. All the foundations of the earth are out of course. So this is the result of what happens when mankind becomes inclined to wickedness due to its sinful nature. It throws the whole earth out of course. So we look at what's going on with the letter agenda and all these different agendas that are being pressed upon us, but that we're just seeing the end result of what started with pushing the bar slowly but surely, accepting the idea of adultery, accepting the idea of sin, accepting the idea of dividing and splitting up families. So now when we ask, is there a unified front against sin? The question is, who's standing up? Who's standing up against the evildoers, like the Bible says? When let me correct that. When the letter people are stating, well, you can't judge us, as you stated earlier, Elder, because look, your family is divided. Look, you're in sin. You're in fornication. You're a thief. No one can judge us, right? And that's an incorrect mindset. But now they feel like somehow, some way, it gives them an upper hand, or it gives them an argument against those who are in righteousness, which is why we're telling brothers and sisters, we got to come back to the commandments so that they don't have an argument, and that we can actually stand and be unified against the sin that's taking place in the earth, right? But that with that, I yield.
And it's deep that you brought that out. That was a great point you brought out. That this is why the perversions of this earth, who are really controlling things, the perverts of the earth, have an argument against so-called believers, because they act like they don't pay attention, right? But soon as people start pointing out what's evil concerning what they're doing politically and otherwise to our people, they'll come back and says, well, you do just as worse. You churches are sinning. Y'all doing this. How dare you talk about our behavior? To show you they've been watching the whole time and didn't see that righteous example that would actually do what? That would actually prick their conscience for repentance. They went to the church to deal with or try to overcome that struggle, and seen even more wickedness than what they were inclined to do. Compared to what they were inclined to do. They seen the wickedness and say, well, hold up. How can they judge us when they're not teaching what's right according to God's law? And on top of this, we're witnessing in these conversations in the church, there's backbiting, there's people talking about each other, families are breaking up, there's adultery, fornication, pedophilia. And when they look at this, they be like, listen, I'm righteous compared to that deacon. If you want to measure righteousness according to a law. So what happens? And but still, it comes down to this. When we are pointing out what's wrong, regardless of, because everyone have done wrong in this earth, all righteousness together is as filthy rags, like the Bible says. But because of that, are we going to let our earth and our children and everything that we have worked towards the kingdom of heaven, should we all let that burn and go to hell because of it? No. Obviously, a line has to be drawn where enough is enough, and we must do, just like Satan is dealing with this COVID as a reset, the righteousness must reset now.
That's right. It got to stop somewhere.
Yeah, because obviously this thing is leaning towards, Satan is coming down on believers like a road grader. And it's self-preservation at this point. If we allow them to continue, there'll be none left of our people. So where's the resistance? And it goes back to, where's the resistance? Going back to what? Is there a unified front against wickedness? And if not, why? Let me play this one more time for the people who didn't see this. I'm going to play this one more time, and then after that, we'll open up the calls so you all can answer those questions. Is there a unified front? Because what? This is what we've allowed, folks. We've allowed the man to be silenced, where it's normal to see a household without a protection with a man. Guess what? A man, and a strong man, is the greatest, believe it or not, is the greatest stance against wickedness. So they realize that. Because women are easily controlled because they are emotional. So they had to get the man out of the way, and we sat back and allowed that to happen. After they got the man out of the way, they began to focus on the children. We started hearing more and more about abuse because women are in the workforce being equal, giving their children over to what? Strangers. We started to hear about children being abused more and more after the man wasn't there to protect the home. Right? And then subsequent to that, right after that, obviously you're going to have more people coming out with emotional sexual issues. If there's no man around, they're being raised by a woman, exhibiting feminine tendencies by watching their mother, and then getting dealt with by strangers. Then you see a girl who was a dainty girl, and she's getting bullied in the school by some tough ones. And next thing you know, they'll bully your daughter into that activity. And we sat back and allowed it to happen. To a degree where these same people now gain political status. Started in California. Then they moved to Washington, D.C. and started getting in high positions. And Bible believers sat back and allowed it to happen. They told us we couldn't read or pray in the schools anymore. When the original schools, this is how they got our children out of the protection of a father and mother home. Because at one time, the most married people in America were black people. You know how they were able to get our children out of the home where these pagans and Satanists now are teaching them? By claiming that they would teach the Bible in school. They set up the schools originally to teach the Bible. Those were the first schools. Look it up. But it was only a way to coax our children from under what? Our protection, because we were very protective as a people right after slavery. Knowing that Satanists and the sacrifice and all that crap they did across the tracks. Their satanic rituals of burning crosses, sacrificing people, hanging people to their gods and all that. Those hangings weren't hate crimes, folks. Those hangings, what they've been hiding, those hangings in slavery were ritualistic sacrifices to their gods. And our people knew that. So no way we're going to let our children be taught by you. They used the Bible to get our children right from under us. And now we're so busy working and all that. You got these same Satanists who sacrifice, who's dealing with the letter people and all that. Now they got in positions as what? Administrators, principals, school superintendents. And what happens? Then they put Ritalin and all these hallucinogens and all these things in the school to target the young children, to drive the children mad, crazy. Claiming that your child got a mental disorder. No, that was a way to drive our children cuckoo. To be easily controlled. Targeting mainly on the young black men. And we sat there and listened, okay, that's okay. And then after that said that we couldn't pray in school anymore. No more Bible in the school. And we as Bible, what was the Christian church doing the whole time? Jesus on my mind. Jesus on my mind. I'm feeling fine. Jesus on my mind. And here it is. The Satanists were in the school every day with their religion, taking your family, destroying future generations. And it's to a degree now, it's at a point of no resistance. Look at your screen. Now, here we are. Let me play it. 1 second. Hold on, let me play it. Hold on, let me get it here. Say something, lawyer.
Yes, sir. I'm here.
Okay, it's working then. 1 moment. Let me get it again. 1 moment here. Let me get it again here. For some reason, it's not playing, but I'm going to see if I can get it. Let's see. Open. 1 second here. For those who missed it, I wanted to play it one more time.
Satanism in schools sounds like the stuff.
Yeah, here it is. I think I got it now. One second, let me get it here. Yeah, here it is. There it is. For those who missed it.
Satanism in schools sounds like the stuff of horror movies, but a US court ruling on religious freedoms has enabled devil worshippers in Florida to hand out educational material about their beliefs to kids at state schools. Reporter AHAYAH has this report.
Public education in America often uses coloring books to teach young Americans about math, science, and current events.
Fair use.
This year, a new book filled with games and lessons about Satanism could be distributed to students attending public school in Florida's Orange County. The 10-page Satanic Children's Big Book of Activities features characters named Annabelle and Damien who demonstrate rituals to explain Satanism. This expanding wealth of information for America's young minds was made possible after a Florida judge last month ruled that if the Orange County School District allowed Christian groups to disseminate Bibles and other materials in its schools, then other religious and atheist groups should be given the same right to distribute their material. And followers of the Antichrist seized on the decision to treat all faiths equally. A spokesman for the Satanic Temple tells Raw Story that, quote, if a public school board is going to allow religious pamphlets and full Bibles to be distributed to students, as is the case in Orange County, Florida, we think the responsible thing to do is to ensure that these students are given access to a variety of different religious opinions, as opposed to standing idly by while one religious voice dominates the discourse and delivers propaganda to youth, unquote. In a ruling that was aimed at maintaining religious neutrality, students who may never have intended to learn about Christianity, atheism, or Satanism will now receive an introduction to all three. Marina Portnaya, RT.
And another thing, if someone is an atheist, they're a Satanist. There's another name for it. All right. Now, let me go right in real quick, and I wanted to show that because this is what happens when good people idly stand by. If you don't resist it, if you're silenced through political correctness. Here it is. You can't tell me if I believe in the Bible, I can't point out what's wrong and what have destroyed society and allow it to continue to destroy my people, my family. No, I have to say something. You can't claim that, okay, you can't judge me. But yet I see them on TV judging people every day who believe in the Bible. Every day they're judging. They're judging us. Oh, y'all bullies, y'all this, y'all that, y'all this. No, how can you judge and we can't? We're not dealing with that no more. You're not throwing that back on us no more. Assault, let me stab your kids up. Yeah, you can't judge me. You can't judge me. Let me turn your little boy into a girl. You can't judge me. It's enough already. It's enough already. It's time for righteous people to stand up or get rolled over. We're talking about straight reprobates who isn't satisfied unless there's blood. You can sit back if you want and think your children aren't getting targeted. We need to get in front of everything right now. A reset, a start over. And another way you can recognize a Satanist. There's someone that was in our chat. And you know, these so-called trolls come in a chat and say stuff like, yeah, let's burn. They're going to, these trolls would say, yeah, it's time to burn everything down. Burn Babylon down. That's a Satanist. Okay. You got to watch these Satanists because they play all day on their computers and become trolls. That's another tactic they use. So that when our video come up, people will show that in the chat as if that's what, nah. The Bible says you overcome evil with good.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
That the weapons of our warfare aren't carnal. Only a nut job, only a fool will go out there and be radical and start tearing something up because the government or because the news told them to. Or react physically in a spiritual war. Only a lunatic would operate, or easily triggered lunatic would operate like that. Okay. The weapons of our warfare aren't carnal. So if you want to, so what they're doing, they get into these chats hoping to stir up a nut job that they may run into. Okay, somebody that's already wired. Yeah, for fire, let's burn Babylon. Nah, they're nut jobs. So we know the Satanists be actually up in our chats. But folks, the weapons of our warfare aren't carnal. The greatest weapon against these what you would call vermins is the Bible. That's the one thing they're attacking. It's an inanimate object. It's just a book. That's what they claim. Why are you trying to stop people from reading it if it's just a book? If it doesn't have spiritual value and power to oppose evil and wickedness. We're just reading the Bible. They were like, well, we don't want you reading the Bible because it invokes spiritual radicalism. Spiritual radicalism. What are you talking about? It makes you radical. Radical against what? Oh, because I want to sleep with this person. It's saying that I can't. No, you can sleep with anyone you want. What we saying is take that crap in your bedroom, and you don't need a platform for that. We don't need a platform to say, look at my wife. Look, no, we don't need a platform for that. What we do is in our bedroom. So no, we're not being radicalized. We're even in the playing field here and saying, listen, who cares who you love? Get away from us with that crap. If you're worshiping Satan, good. Tell us that. But be out front with it. Tell people that you got in politics to push your Satanism. Tell people you put yourself in a position of with children to do your sacrifice because you hate family. We're just saying, be honest. They'll be there in the school and be the child psychologist and sit down with the mother. Yeah, little Rayshawn, he's a good kid. Oh yeah, he means well. His dad, I ain't see him in a while. I know he means well, but he's running behind. And she probably just drunk a whole glass of a virgin child's blood 3 hours ago. Oh yeah. Oh, Rayshawn isn't feeling well. You know what? He's going back behind it, and he have a learning disability. And I would sure like to put him on Ridley. I think it'd be better. He's moving around too much. Trying to bug your child out, and this Satanist called a psychiatrist or a psychologist, a straight pagan demon worshiper, is talking to a mother who don't even know any better about to have your child just totally riddled with demons, literally, by taking these hallucinogens and these medications with side effects of it doesn't matter. If your child want to get up and stab everyone in the house, that's a normal side effect. This is how they do it. They get in positions in which they can have access to children to jack children up. And it's time we get in front of it and know, okay, what are the ideals of people who are teaching our children? Don't tell me teachers don't have influence. I remember my wood teacher. I remember the guy that taught me how to actually make shelves and all that. I'll never forget him till this day. That male figure. People who taught me how to do things, they have a lasting impression. Suppose one of your teachers is a card-carrying member of Black Lives Matter and you don't know it. So it's time for you to get in front of it and say, you know what? Get your teacher's name and look these people up and find out what their ideals are. And because I'm going to tell you, there's no separation. If they believe something against what you believe it comes out on how their approach with your children. It comes out on how they will coach them politically or otherwise based on those ideas. You must understand that if your teacher is teaching against the values within your home, do the research on these people. They'll sit in front of you with a title and they just come straight from a witch coven somewhere with a golden chalice to Satan. And chanting to Satan, pouring child's blood over their head and all that. Then they come and get washed up and say, yeah, let me tell you about Karen, your daughter. No, we need to get in front of these demons. Do some research on the people who's teaching your children. Get in front of it and say, you know what? You don't even have to confront them. Know that this whack job over your child. Know their political views and all that and say, you know what? Let me navigate my child out of this school or from this, transfer this child to this teacher. This teacher is a regular person. We have to get in front of this, man. Yeah, what you got?
I was going to say, originally they had introduced that cartoon a few years ago.
Yeah.
But the thing is, it's like, okay, that was kind of a gateway for certain other things. Like for that, like I've seen a clip the other day where it was literally a dude that was, you know, other letter people dressed full like a woman, and they were basically doing this thing where it was like a teacher allowing this person to speak to the students and explain their life kind of, and
Yeah.
you know what I mean? So it kind of opened the gateway. But the question is, I haven't seen where we are allowed to do it now.
Yeah.
Can we make some comics and put them in the?
Yeah.
Know what I mean? Is that a thing?
Yeah, we're not allowed to make a cartoon of a black Christ and say this is what Christ looked like, and about men and warfare and spiritual warfare according to the Bible, the part in the Red Sea. We not. Guess what? They're allowed to do what we can. We're not allowed to teach our children in school the stories of the Bible, but yet they can come in with the rainbow and all this other stuff, and here it is. They'll be like, well, listen, I'm not influencing anything. You know, this is just school. They'll take recess away from the young men. Well, that's where we get off our aggression and wonder why we're moving around in class. Our children are moving around in an antsy in class. We're not linear learners like girls. Young boy need to get out that aggression, playing football, getting scratched up, getting a Band-Aid on. That's what we want. Not a knot upside the head. That's good. They like, oh, he's aggressive. No, that's a boy playing. So that's what happens, folks. I'm going to tell you right now, folks. What they'll do is they'll make it where all the toys in the class must be gender neutral. What the hell is that? Here it is. You got a little boy sitting there. He coming up, you know, flexing. And here it is. You know, he got a little gold and silvery magic wand with a princess crown, with his name on it. Then, yeah, this is yours. I seen a brother come in school a few years ago. He's like, listen, I'll tell you one more time. If I come up here and I hear my son up in a dress, I'm turning this whole place out. I praise the Most High for men like that. And we just want children. We want them to be more tolerant. Children are the more tolerant people in the earth. You're not doing this. No. This is programming. This is propaganda. This is shaping their idea. This, you know, through your reprobate passions. Children ain't even thinking about sex. Parents, get in front of this, please. Is there a unified front against wickedness? If so, why? Why not? Why isn't there? Hold on tight. We're going to come right back with, you have anything else, lawyer, to say before I open up the calls?
No, sir.
515-605-9327. We'll be right back with the calls. Let me get it right here. One moment. The Bible. Is it hard to understand?
When it comes to reading the Bible, the first thing that comes to mind is the fact that this is the Word of God.
The seals have been broken, and the truth is here.
And when we go throughout the scriptures, when we go throughout extra biblical records, we find that the language that God employed, that He used to create the heavens and the earth, was the Hebrew language.
Christ said, I came for the lost sheep of the house of Israel. But yet no one, no religious leader, no religious church out there anywhere can now identify the 12 tribes of Israel. Can we? God is quite simple, but it seems as if man makes understanding Him hard.
What are those mysteries?
The truth of your book and the truth will make you free. The Hebrew and Bible Academy. You're invited. That's right. Hebrew Bible Academy this week, after we totally, through the Spirit of the Most High, busted up that evil religion, that wicked Babylonian Persian mythology religion, Islam, we're going into what? Pagan Christianity, the strong delusion this Sunday. See, I don't have any problem with the Christians in the Bible. Why? Because like them, we're pre-Constantine Christians. We're down with the first church, the first century church. Not that evil, the Roman Empire and Esau, who came in and turned it and merged paganism to try to dilute the truth of Christ's power. Esau tried to hijack the book, but we took it back. It's our record, and we're going to destroy the delusion of modern day pagan Christianity this coming Sunday. And this is not to offend Christians. Listen, it's not my problem. I was taught lies just like you. It's not my problem that I want to follow the Bible as it is written. I didn't teach you to be pagan. I didn't teach you to celebrate Easter, Christmas, switch the Sabbath to Sunday. But so don't try to come at us and get offended because we want to follow the Bible as it is written. That's a problem between you and your pastor. So many people get offended with us because we say, well, listen, that's your business. Understand that you're worshiping Satan. Okay? Because what? You cannot merge darkness with light and call it light. You can't sit at the table of devils and call it light. You can't switch God's plan into a new plan controlled by pagans and claim that Christ is down with it. So many people get mad at us when we didn't teach you to lie. All that should be aimed towards your teachers. Ask them, if Christ said you shall know the truth and the truth shall make you free, why are we still living a lie up in these churches? That's between you and your pastor. Hold tight 1 second here, and let's get the blog talk going. 515-605-9327. Hold tight.
Welcome to Blog Talk Radio.
Okay, right here.
Talk Radio.
All right. We're live on Blog Talk. And as y'all know, that's right. Let's get it. The Most High is calling back Israel. Let's hit it. Oh.
The East is where we're from. The 12 tribes of Israel. In 721 BC, the Assyrian king, he took us down, we fell. With a great escape we went through the Euphrates. The Lord held the water still. To a land where no mankind dwelt, we went. The 12 tribes of Israel, that's who we be. Manasseh, the Cubans, Ephraim, from Puerto Rico, Naphtali from the house of Hawaii. The Lord is calling back Israel. From Panama, the North American Indian.
Come on!
Simeon, the Dominicans.
Our highest gathering in Israel.
The Arabs and Africans told us.
Back on point.
Together our wives and children sold us. In the belly of these great ships we traveled in fear. By the rivers of Babylon we found our brothers here. AHAYAH in Colombia, Reuben from Australia, Issachar, the Mexicans, AHAYAH's gathering the Negroes, Benjamin the West Indians, Levi the Haitians, AHAYAH's gathering in Israel.
That's right. Come on, let's go. Is there a unified front against wickedness? If not, why? Let's go down the line. Let's start here at 612 area code. Then after that, 216 and 843. Please make sure we're not playing anything in the background. Make sure there's no noise behind you, because if so, I'll need to go to the next call and bring you in later. 612 area code. You're live on Blog Talk with the Gathered of Christ Church. Shalom.
Shalom, brother. Shalom.
How are you?
I'm doing good, and I'm kind of disturbed in my spirit from what I'm hearing of what the people are doing. It is troubling me because here in Minnesota, we have opened up a satanic or Wiccan school here about 20 minutes from where I live. And these people didn't do anything to try to stop it, but they want to say, oh, we don't want that here, or we're going to boycott. We don't want your kind out here. But they still let them open that school here. And
okay, when you say here, you mean
that live in
are you saying in particular?
I'm sorry, I'm in Minnesota.
No, I'm asking.
I'm in Minnesota.
Okay, I know there's probably a delay. Let me ask you: is it in the black community? Is what you're saying?
I'm not sure the area, but I'm out here where I live is predominantly white because I live in the country.
Okay, so they want to set up a Wiccan school. Did you get with the parents and the churchgoers in the neighborhood to see if y'all can all band together to shut it down?
They all said that they wanted to do it. They wanted to protest, but nobody did nothing.
No one did nothing.
And I don't want to be the only one going up there against them by me being a person of color. I will probably be one of the ones that you will find hung up out in the fields out here because, like I said, it is predominantly white.
Yeah.
And in the town I live in, it may be at the most 8 families out here, and 3 of which are me and 2 of my brothers.
Hey, sister, I'm going to just tell you right out, you know what I mean? You don't want to find yourself in a cornfield somewhere tied down in an upside down pentagram, okay? So
exactly.
So what you need to do is really reel this thing back and understand it's time for you to pray to the Most High and get yourself in a safe area. You understand, protected by a man of the Most High, someone who will look out for you and your sons, because if you went there to say, listen, we need to do something about this Wiccan. Have you seen the movie Wicked Man?
No.
Well, the next time you get an opportunity,
Wicker Man. Yeah, I saw Wicker Man. Yeah, I saw that.
You notice how he went to investigate and see what was going on that island and found out that he was the sacrifice?
Yep. And I'm not that adventurous. I'm not that person.
Listen, hey.
I spoke my piece on it because we have children. I'm a grandmother. I have great-grandchildren.
Okay.
My son is grown. Like I said, it's me and my brothers, but still there's other children out here. If some parents don't look out for their children, it takes a community to raise a child, regardless of the color of that child.
Yeah.
But you can't just throw your child out there to the wolves and expect them to raise themselves. If you put them out there with wolves, what they're going to do, they're going to become the prey or the hunter.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you brought that up, sister.
You need to nurture those children and teach them.
Yeah. Well, thank you, sister. Those are great points, and just stay away from those,
Okay.
the dark areas. Okay.
I do stay away from. I mind my own business. I go between my brother's houses, and I'm back at home. But also, I wanted to tell you, by me living out here in the country, there is a lot of fields out here that they are selling dirt cheap. I am turning my yard, because I have a nice sized yard. I'm turning, I want to say, a little over half of my yard into me growing produce. If you're interested in buying up any lands in the northern part of the U.S., I can be your lookout person for land here where you can grow stuff for people in the Midwest.
Okay, well, I'll talk about
that. I wouldn't mind helping out.
Well, thank you, sister. I'm going to talk about that offline, and thank you. I need to go to the next call, okay? I'm with you, though. All right, I have your number. We'll reach out separate from this. All right, bless you. Yeah, if you find yourself the only black person in Wiccan territory, it's best to understand that this ain't the place for political stances. All right, pray to your God. Keep that thing. Don't be talking about AHAYAH and YAHAYAH out there when you got a high priest sitting there. He's probably with a red robe on. Looking for some Israelite blood. So 803 area code. What's next?
Hi, Elder Carr. This is Akeem from South Carolina.
All right, talk to me, brother. We got listen, Akeem. We got to race through these, so you got to just hit it and let me go to the next call, okay? Because we have a lot of calls. All right.
I'm a race through it fast.
Okay, let's go.
I hear your topic, man, and yeah, man, it's a lot of wicked. It's a lot of wickedness in South Carolina and all over the United States, man. So I'm telling you this because I went in DMV. I just got my license, and
good.
This black man, he had on a face mask, and he had told me get the heck away from me. And he said we gotta be 6 feet apart, and I just felt bad, man, because I wasn't, near him, but man, I just want to know, I just want to know, this is my
Hakeem, you got to bring it, brother. Hey, brother, I got a lot of calls. You got to round your point out. Come on now.
Sir, I am bringing it very fast.
No, listen to what I'm saying. You got to round your point out because I got a call. You got to work with me, brother.
Okay then, sir. I just want to know, man, I know the Most High is holding everything back from being totally annihilated by Iran, but I just want to know, when is God gonna just let let Iran loose on this the wicked place.
Well, hold tight. Well, I'll answer that. I'll answer that question offline, Hakeem. I'll place you on hold. Okay. The question was, when will Iran war actually happen? I think that's what Hakeem was trying to ask. Okay. That's what we're keeping a close eye on. We know that the mark of the beast, that particular thing will not happen in full throughout the four corners of the earth until the last world war. So we're more so looking at when it comes to this war, we're looking at least probably the next administration, probably, but I'm looking at this according to Jubilees. The 3.5 years in which we're able to operate, and then 3.5 years where it'll be no more, you won't be able to operate at all. I think they're putting things in place with these first few years of this administration. And then they're gonna, at the end of that administration, I believe they're gonna go all out war. Okay? But I'm still keeping my eye on it in the academy. What we do make sure is that Shabbat each Sunday in the academy, because of that being what tipped the scales, the Iranian war. Every week Shabbat has a report, and we keeping our eye not just on Sodom Watch, but on the Iranian politics and how they're drumming up a war against Iran like they did Iraq, Libya, so on and so forth. So if you're asking us in particular exactly when, I know they're putting in the infrastructure for war now under the Biden's administration, so that you're already, like you've mentioned, operating like in war. The 6 feet thing was in Iraq. When they invaded Iraq, in order for Iraqis to get food from supermarkets and all that, to make sure that there was no terrorist activity and transferring weapons to other people while the army gave out rations, they made sure that the citizens of Iraq had to be 6 feet apart. So they're using this COVID thing as what you would call a beta test to get us acclimated to when war begins. It has nothing to do with that. They're putting the infrastructure in place. They have to do it different in the United States, because the United States is one of the few places left that the citizens still have the right to bear arms. So they had to do it a little different. They had to do it sideways, but still set up the same schematics for war using a coronavirus. All right. But exactly when, we're probably looking at, we're looking into it based on what's happening at the end of this administration, sometime around that time. That's what we're looking into. Okay, don't, as far as an exact time, I don't know the exact time. That's why we're looking at the politics of it, and we're going to let people know week by week in the academy where it is, so we'll know how close we are and be able to make moves before that time. Okay. Next call, 216 area code. And hold up. And excuse me,
Shalom, Elder.
Okay, 216. Excuse me, I want to apologize, Hakeem. I have to actually, we're dealing with a broadcast. It's nothing personal, but we can't hang on for 5-6 minutes with no point, because there's a lot of people. All right, but I'm glad you got your point out, and I hope that answered it. 216 area code.
Shalom, Elder Akar. This is Sax Player from Cleveland.
Shalom, how are you?
Shalom. I'm doing fine, brother. I see that we got something mutual with being musicians. You're a singer. I'm a musician and background singer. With these detectives with the masks and stuff, man. I'm like, these demons be jumping on people out there, man. I can't even, these people, I think they're getting a jab, and it's like they think they're Superwoman or Superman talking to us out here.
They're talking to you like what?
Like, hey, give me 6 feet. Hey, where's your mask? You ain't got your mask,
What
Every time I wear a shield.
What in Cleveland?
Yeah.
Brother, I'm going to tell you the truth.
I think they be getting a jab or something.
Let me tell you, I haven't witnessed that at all in PA. At all. I had one guy that tried to jump out of an airplane a little bit, and he realized he didn't have he realized quickly there was no parachute, right? I'm standing in a bagel line. I'm standing in a bagel line, and he comes out of the car. I look like he was high on coke or something. He come up on me talking about, you can tell him he's sitting there with a red nose looking at me talking about, yeah, where's your mask? I'm like, dude, I'm going to tell you right now, you're going to back up. And then he looked, I'm going to tell you, I shook his spirit. You can see his spirit move a centimeter out of him and jump back. And he looked and snapped into reality. I'm like, yeah, you better act like it's 2019 out here, brother. And before all this, and go get your sandwich. So I told him straight out, listen, I'm a and yeah, because he's trying to real quick. The brother was trying to act like he was doing a service, but he was within the 6-month proximity. I'm like, dude, he got out of the car and made a beeline to me because I'm outside with my mask off, and I don't wear that stupid thing. I have the clear mask. I'm not running around smothering myself with this stupidity.
Yeah, I do too.
But anyway, he comes up, and I tell him, listen, I raised up on him. I did a new North Philly raise up on him and told him, brother, back up, because you know what I mean. I'll deal with you, then pray over you. So after that, he rolled out and got his sandwich, and then I heard him mumbling under his voice, and yes, he was 6 feet apart, mumbling, saying, "I'm just trying to save lives. I just want to save lives." I'm like, yeah, get in your car, get out of here, man. This white dude gonna come step to me. I'm like, listen, bro, it's early in the morning. I got a lot to do. Listen, you about to get dealt with, then prayed over. I'll pray with you afterwards too. Go ahead, talk. Go ahead.
Yeah.
So
my wife, she's listening to on the phone there, and it said on her telephone, this content may be inappropriate for some users.
Yeah.
I mean, this telecast is inappropriate for some users?
Yeah, it is.
What's that?
You mean our
well, it needs
our broadcast?
Yeah. It was on her phone when she's looking at this, looking at you on the phone and it said it was, this content may be inappropriate for some users.
Yeah, it's true. All right, I'm gonna place you on hold, brother.
I'm serious.
It's true. It isn't inappropriate for those in a delusion, people who don't, people who they don't want us to wake up. But go on. I'm gonna place you on hold, brother, because I got a lot of calls.
It's been like 5 years I've been in the academy with you, around 5, and that's my education biblically and historically.
Thank you, brother.
I implore everybody to get in the academy. And you know what? I'll pay for somebody to go in the academy, okay?
Okay, I'm going to take your number down, and I'm going to take you up on that, all right?
And I got something for you, too. I talked to Mikiala, Maestro Hot Sauce, man, in Texas.
All right.
He went to stay with a brother, he told me, so.
Well, brother, I got...
Get on something with the music, man.
I'm going to get with you, brother. Don't worry about it. 216, I got you. Just hold on tight. I'm going to make sure... Stay on hold, because I'm going to get your number and call you. Make sure you write down this number. All right? Yeah, 908 area code. 908. Yeah, they say that our videos, is not suitable for some users. What is that? Not the 216 area code. Make sure you write that down. It's not suitable for those who, those who could become awakened from their delusions. 908. You got it? You have it there? 216. Write it down. I'm gonna call him. That other brother, there's another brother that plays sax, man. This dude is the one that played the Passover. I got to get him in on a few things. This guy is tough. Yeah, we got to get him in on. Yeah, because we're working on a new project. So, all right, 980 area code. Let's see. Let's go. 980. Shalom. You're live, and of course, let me go here. Is there a unified front against wickedness, and if not, why?
Yeah, I don't think there's a unified front against wickedness. I think wickedness has been let loose and it's been running rampant so long that, it's really hard to get a handle on it now. It's almost out of control. So, the only thing that can really save us is the Most High, you know what I'm saying? And the things that are, the guidance that he's given us.
So the question is, you see, what people would need to know, like personally, okay, this, of course, the trainer went off the rails already, right? I mean, you can't put the wickedness back in its satanic genie bottle. But what can we do? Oh, I'm sorry, Bill. I got to place you on hold. It's like, I'm sorry. You sound like you in the subway. You got to hold tight on that. I'll be back. What can we do as a people to say, even though, the toothpaste is out of the tube, the wickedness have went all over the place. What can I do to protect me and my family from this and get in front of it and not get rolled over? How do I get in front of it? Like, for instance, little instances where I don't try to impose what I know and believe on everyone I meet. The Bible will tell you that he sent us out as sheep among wolves. That's what Christ says. Be wise as serpents, harmless as a dove. I wait for the opportunity. The opportunity arises in normal conversation, like when someone asks, I do little subtle things. When people are confused, and I'm like, you a Christian? They be like, well, yeah. Well, I don't know if my job requiring this and my job requiring that, and my pastor saying this, and I don't know. Everyone know. And I answer, I'm simple with it, right? I reply with, what would Christ do, sister? And she's like, you know what? And I had somebody say that too. You know what? Thank you. I never even thought of reasoning like that. That if I follow Christ and I'm a believer, what would Christ do? She's saying their pastors don't know, the doctors are saying this, her nurse is saying other things, and her family saying certain things. And every time I get an opportunity, I can be getting onions or something, and when I go to the produce place, I'm breaking all types of COVID rules because I'm squeezing every produce I get my hands on, onions and everything. And like, this ain't gonna work. Because I like to know my fruit, especially if you're getting things like avocado and stuff like that, So I'll be sitting there squeezing fruit, squeezing produce, and a person be over there talking, and I'm looking at them squeezing stuff and saying, "Well, hey, what would Christ do? Are you a Christian? Yeah. What would Christ do? What would Christ do? Yeah, this is a good onion. See you later. 340 area code. I think this is Sunshine.
Hello?
Shalom. Hey, what you got? Talk to us. Lord, I can't even hear you, girl. Wait, would you talk to us?
Can you hear me, Elder? Can you hear me?
Loud and clear, sister. Get up on the phone. Let's hear you.
Okay, Elder, praise the Most High for this truth, that in this time of trouble.
Hold up, sister. Hold up. Sunshine, your phone is out of here. It's wild. So let me put you on hold that you get that back. There's some static going on. So I'm gonna come back to you. Get it together.
Okay.
Hold up. I think it cleared up. Say something. I think it cleared up.
Oh, hello, Elder.
It's better. Me? It's better now. Go on.
I was just saying, praise the Most High for His truth in this time of trouble. This is definitely a unified front against the righteous in like every direction. From the attacks on the old and helpless, just like in the days of the wilderness, when Amalek attacking us from the rear and the perimeter, to this very same day, to the various storms that you were talking about, in Texas, and the plans against our children to get them in school under these various traditions and other attacks. It is just like a noose tightening against us, and though we as a people see the wickedness, we see it, and we see the dangers and even the time of the consummation, like described in Baruch, in our spirit know that the things are just not right and are upside down, that this so-called new normal is not at all normal. It's like anything but normal, and like the theater of the bizarre. Like Elder Lawyer was saying, that it's like the majority will still incline to do wickedness. And because wickedness is at an all-time high, anybody who speaks and loves righteousness and hates wickedness are pushed and shoved and hated just like Christ was. for a servant isn't more worthy, than his master. They hated Christ, so they'll hate us because Christ is the truth, way, and life. And anyone who shows forth Christ shows forth that light, and they'll be hated. So like you were saying, Elder, the strong man according to the word, the shamefaced woman, and the God-fearing family, all of us according to the word that show that wonderful image of the Most High, the Godhead, will be hated, all of us. And they'll be replaced, like you were saying, with the effeminate, like brazen, dancing black men that they like to put on the TV. And Amalek and the nations love to see that happening, or the black woman posed as like a harlot or a beast under that LGBT feminism. All those who do and just don't want truth and prefer wickedness and delusions or lies would keep hanging to this crumbling, falling world, and that to the very end, realizing that it's like a drop in a bucket, compared to the eternity. And so, but elders, I stand and I breathe each day in awe of the power and mercy of our power. The word says that the fool says that there is no God in his heart, and that's exactly what they are. They're just fools. How could they disdain such a wonderful, merciful God and carry on in this way? And so they're hell bent in this very dark. So although, most are rolled over, because that's what they're doing. They're rolling over, they're beat down, the Christians. We understand that this is the season to navigate through this so-called new normal with wisdom, as 1,000 fall and 10,000 at our right hand, but it won't come near us by grace of the Most High.
Well,
so
thank you,
that's
sister.
all I wanted to say. I'm just so grateful.
Thank you.
Well,
There
praise
goes
the
sunshine.
Most
Thank
High,
you.
Elder.
Thank you. And again, that's right, our broadcast. Let me give it to you again here. Hold on. 1 second. All right. Well, let me get it here. All right, let's go to the next call. Let's go to the next call here. 1 second here. Is there a unified front against wickedness? And if so, is there a unified front against wickedness? Is there? Right? And what are we doing about it? Let me switch the question up a little bit. What are we doing about it? Because why? At Purim, one of the most breathtaking moments, or one of the most solemn moments I received during Purim, is after that lesson, seeing toddlers, seeing children all together singing in the name of AHAYAH together, just a choir of babies who won't have to fight through this era of darkness and paganism to know the truth. They were born and raised to know that they're from the stock of Abraham. Imagine that. See, that's doing something about it. These children are going to grow up with some pagan demon try to come up from a witch coven and try to say, do you, and ask one of these young men in our church, do you feel like a girl today? Like, listen, you off. And then we going to have our kids looking, you a witch, ain't you? Okay. The Bible says this, a man is not supposed to wear what pertaineth to a woman, neither shall a woman put on man's clothes. That's what God says. This is how our children are going to be raised. I know some children straight up who learned under the church, who when a pagan day come, they're automatically switched to another class, or they have to sit in the office until some wickedness, Halloween or something, celebration, is over. Because they'll be sitting there, kids just looking around, just cramping everyone's style. Like, yeah, this is a day when dead people are worshipped by pagan Satanists, right? Little kids in the class saying this. It's like, wear your suit, wear your suit. We don't put on spirits of the dead. That's witchcraft and demonology. The Most High says you go to hell. You go to hell for celebrating Halloween? 347 area code. Let's go.
Shalom, elders and family.
Shalom.
And to answer your question is why not unified? It's because there are both people and then there are sheeple. The sheeple are those that believe this coronavirus is real. When it keeps switching up the scenario, first we got to have lines at the to get into the supermarket. Now we don't have to have lines. Okay, now we're going to open up. We can eat in the inside restaurants now. The coronavirus is not going to bother you in the inside restaurants as it did 6 months ago. The sheeple believe that. The sheeple are the ones that's walking around in the streets in the fresh air, covered up with masks. People like me, they take their mask off the minute they step off the bus. They only wear the mask when you have to. There's just too many sheeple, and it's the sheeple are the ones that's going to be the 90% that will be in the depopulation. I mean, there's nothing we can do about it. We can't change Bible prophecy. We just have to reconcile that some of our best friends, some of our family are among the sheeple, and that's all we can do is just pray that some of the sheeple will become people before it's too late. That's all we can do.
Yeah.
Shalom.
Shalom. Great points. Thank you, sister. Great points. I'll tell you what, the people on these calls, they are wide awake. They are wide awake. I'll tell you that. All praises be to the Most High. So it's not waiting for things to change. It's getting in front of it. If we know what to do and what's good, then guess what? It's upon us to be that small percentage that remnant the Most High use to do what? To actually make a way for those who are in darkness or who would like to see. That's our position. You can't save the world, but you can do as much as we can to make sure our people are aware of this world we were born into. This is nothing by chance. There's nothing just subjective or by chance or coincidence. This is an evil world set up on a Babylonian foundation. And the quicker we tell people that this is not just by chance, that all this is orchestrated, and give them an alternative, the better off the people will be. Okay? You have to let people know the foundation is evil. They're lying, trying to use Christ, saying that Christ is the foundation of these empires and that they came over here just to grow crops and to worship Christ in America freely and all. That was a bunch of bull. They were pagan, blood-drinking, child-sacrificing Satanists who came over here. Like I said, Benjamin Franklin, he was a part of the Hellfire Club. You had Paine, a part of a straight Luciferian. And they've been using Christ as the pinata that everyone will whip on in the Bible because they used the Bible as the front as they were rolling out Satan's Babylonian program. 760 area code. Let's go.
Hey, shalom, elder.
Is there a unified front against wickedness? And if not, why?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. You're live.
Okay, cool. Yeah, man. I believe this is still in relation to the subject, because you advise us not to get the COVID test. I have
let me make it clear. Let me make it clear.
And
hold up, brother. You said something. I didn't advise anything. I told people what I'm not doing. Let me put that out there. All right. I believe in Christ. So let's make it clear. My advice is do what Christ said. But go on.
Right. Not bad. Yeah, man. I was just want to run this by you. See what your thoughts on it is. Use the product. It messed up my sense of smell. I can smell things, but anything like hot, like food, it has this like smell. So if I was going to let a doctor see why my smell is messed up, they advised to put something down my nostril, but it's not a COVID test. So I was wondering, you think that's safe before I make that move? So.
Listen, brother.
You still there, Elder?
Yeah, I'm there. I'm checking this out.
Oh, okay.
I'm checking out this, this angle. Brother, listen, I'm not a doctor. My answer to you is, and I'm going to ask you.
Yeah.
What would Christ do?
I got you, Elder. I got you, Elder. Okay, thank you, man.
You're welcome.
All right.
You get somebody to stick something up in your hand if you want. That's your business. My brother. You can run around in beast mode.
I feel you.
But that's your problem. Mark of the beast. 980 area code. Let's go. Yeah, y'all ain't trapping me up. 980 area code.
Hello, Elder.
Hold up. I'm going to tell you, Elder Lawyer, I'm going to tell you right now, we're going to be having these conversations all the way up until people are getting chipped up in their forehead. Oh, yeah, by the way, Elder, my employer just said, you know what I mean, right now, there's an extra bonus, and I'm not sure because, people have been getting stuff in them for a long time. They've been getting hip replacement, knee replacements, heart things, and make sure their heart's pattern went well or whatever the case is. And just between you and I, Elder, they said it's the syringe is a little thinner than the regular syringes. And really, it's not the size of a grain of rice. They got them nice and small now. And I know my cousin got it. And, you think I should get it shot in my forehead? What you have to say about that, Elder Way? We're going to have these calls. Because I know my cousin got it. Ain't nothing wrong with him.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
So, I got to be wise. And when I'm answering these questions now, Elder Lawyer, I got to be like, listen, my answer to all this stuff so that people can get me caught up later is, what would Christ do?
Absolutely.
I'm just a servant. You see how they trying to get me? First come in. He came in with, and you said. I'm like, oh. Where this guy calling from? But go ahead, Elder Lloyd.
Yes, sir. As you said, you have to realize we're Bible men. We're not doctors. So any medical procedure, any further research or further information you would have to get from your doctor. If for any reason you don't trust that doctor that's speaking with you, you have to get a second opinion, a third opinion, whatever the case may be. But if it's a medical procedure, seek medical advice.
Exactly. I'm a Bible man. I don't believe in getting anything artificial up in something. Okay. As the days of Noah, then shall the coming of the Son of Man be. So if I break a leg, I need a cast. All that other stuff, I'm not dealing with all that. Yeah, let me make you a bionic leg. I'm good. I'll limp. I'll limp to the kingdom of heaven. But you're not putting nothing in me. Let's go. Next call. 614 area code. You notice, I'm going to tell you, Lawyer, this is why they're assaulting us psychologically with main people with metal legs running around, running track. I'm like, what the hell is this? They trying to implant artificial intelligence and having us accept main people as something normal with a person with a metal foot this long running faster than everyone else. I'm like, dude, you can't. I'm like, no, I don't need to see this dude running around with one leg. This is a psychological assault, folks. All of it is about the beast system, how technology is more advanced than what God made. I'm good. All this man-machine transhumanism garbage is all from Satan.
Yes, sir. False miracles.
Yeah, every time you look, they got some weird person running around, with a robot leg, or I'm like, trying to be assimilated into the Borg. I'm like, listen, I'm good. Let's go. Only a few more calls here. What would Christ do is the answer. What would Christ do? And I'm going to start answering because I don't know. Do people really believe in Christ? I think that's the problem. And it dovetails exactly what I'm talking about. It actually highlights what I'm talking about. with this title. Is there a unified front against wickedness? Do we not know to do what Christ would do? Do we not know that's the answer? To do what he would do under these circumstances? Well, Christ wouldn't be working at Chrysler's. He wouldn't be working at Popeyes. So, I mean, these are different circumstances. They say, I got to get it. No. What would Christ do? That's the answer. And if you lose something, if you sacrifice for Christ, don't think that the Most High is going to leave you out there. That's where faith comes in at. Let's go. 980 area code. And if you have something to say on this topic, make sure you hit the 1. If you're waiting in queue, this way a question mark will pop up. And I know this way we'll know whether or not you have a question or comment in the queue. Okay? 980 area code.
Hello, Elder. I was actually calling, this is a little off topic, but you've been singing that song "Save Me" for a little while now, and I was just wondering when it's going to be released for us to purchase it.
I can put "Save Me" on the Royalty Music by Shepherd site, and you can download it. You can download it as a download.
That would be wonderful. I've been waiting. You started singing in the last academy, and I've been wanting to get it ever since then. I love the song.
Okay. Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. So I'll take "Save Me," and what we'll do is, because we have a different remix of it that's real nice too, and that will be on the album itself. But I'll take the initial single and put it on Royalty Music by Shepherd as a download, like Jacob's Crying, and everyone can get access to it that way before we release Music with the Purpose 2, okay? So I'll do that almost immediately. Okay?
Okay. And when does Music with the Purpose 2 come out?
Well, I have a lot of songs. I'm trying to have that, just compile that and get that produced and get that done out by at least the Passover, or at the end of the Passover, at the end of the Feast of Unleavened Bread. So I'm going to really try to just put those in one package and get that done before the Passover. Okay.
Thank you. Shalom.
Shalom, and thank you for your support, brother. 912 area code. Is there a unified front against wickedness? If not, why? Let's go.
Shalom.
Shalom, how are you?
I am fantastic. I just wanted to bring some information forward. I am a contractor with the military.
Okay.
And because they are lifting the ban on transgenders, we are now having to take transgender awareness classes. And with that, we are learning from who they consider subject matter experts. So, for example, the class that I had to sit in was with a woman who has 4 children between the ages of 14 and 8. And they all identify as something different. One is considered transgender, one is considered homosexual, one is considered bisexual, and one is considered straight. And her 8-year-old-ish has already gone through the gender transformation.
Okay, so what are you taking classes for?
We have to take classes on transgender awareness, is what they're calling it, or transgender sensitivity, because they're lifting the ban on allowing transgender in the military. We now have to be, quote unquote, culturally sensitive. And because of that, they're teaching classes on how to deal with this particular population.
Well, I'll tell you the armies who are not doing that. Russia. China has a thing where they're teaching their men now. They got classes because they're saying that the men of China must be more masculine. They have a campaign to actually make sure they teach more masculinity, okay, in China. I know that Iran isn't teaching people to be gender neutral. So, I mean, what's the first line of defense when people are trying to invade a country? So, it seems to me they're just rolling out, opening the door for an invasion. Because I don't think, because I don't think the people that's coming into war against the country, I don't think they're going to be gender neutral or care whether or not you are gender neutral. What does that have to do with fighting a war?
Well, what they want us to do, if we are to be dealing with this population, is one of the things that they mentioned were to not have different religious artifacts in your space because it might be triggering to them, or you can't refer to them as born male or born female. They're now supposed to be referred as assigned female or assigned male. And I quote, the statement that was made was, if referring to someone as born male or born female is similar to calling a black person colored in present day.
Okay. The whole thing is this, all right? And I'm be straight up, right? As far as being sensitive to what they would like to be called, I'm not calling them anything. That's number one. Because I'm going about my business, regardless of what type of freakisms are happening over there. The other thing is, are you saying that I'm not going to be able to read my Bible? And if I have my Bible out, that's offensive? When they're sitting there, I mean, you talking about a guy, you talking about somebody, he could be butched up like Mike Tyson with a wig on, and I'm not supposed to look at that. I'm looking at, am I not being psychologically assaulted right now? And I'm supposed to be like, okay.
That was my question as well.
Okay, so a Bible, a small little Bible is the issue, but I'm being assaulted.
Right.
With this guy with a little tutu on.
Or anything.
You know what I mean?
Right.
He's like Holyfield, with a long wig, and I'm supposed to play along. Nah, what about what's offending me? What about what's offending me? What classes are they taking?
Right. It felt very offensive because when it was said and done, I was thinking to myself, so you want me to be uncomfortable to make someone else comfortable that I feel already is out of order?
No, but the first thing is, first of all, I'm not taking this class. That's number one. Number two, because it's offensive to me. This is an invasion on my religious beliefs. I'm not taking this class. I respect all people, regardless of male or female, because I was raised in a family that respected all people. I'm not taking a class to learn how to be cordial. You're telling me to be more than cordial here. So I need to know before I take this. I need to know before I take this class, what classes are they taking to make sure they don't offend me?
I agree.
Because that's what equality is, right? Equality is, if I gotta take a test to be tolerant, I need to know what test they've taken, not to offend me. And if that's the case, if you can't prove that, it's illegal. It's illegal for you to push this on me. So you have to know the verbiage. If this is equality here, I need to know what test they have to take to make sure that they're not violating my space. See?
Absolutely.
So if they don't have to take a class on, because what's to stop them from offending me then?
I agree.
So these are the words you,
yeah.
And make it clear, sister, these are the words that you don't use in public. You speak to the person directly over you. And what you do is you roll out that particular case and say, well, I'm fine with this. I'm very cordial with all people. That's how my parents raised me. But I need to know, in order for me to take this test or this class, and I'm willing to do so, what classes are they taking to make sure that they have to take to make sure that they're not offending me? And they'll be like,
absolutely.
Absolutely. They'll look at you and be like, well, no. I'm like, well, is that equality there in the workplace? I have to take a test and be careful on whether or not I offend them, but they don't have to do the same for me. What's that? That's illegal.
Right.
Okay, and they'll take that little test someplace else. Get out of my face. All right, any last words, sister?
No, sir, that's it.
All right, thank you. See, I'm about being even across the board. I think, let me tell you, if a guy want to come up, if he want to be Andre the Giant in a dress, that's his problem. He have the right to be that. But hell, if I'm going to take a test on whether or not, whether or not what material I can or cannot have out publicly if this guy's around, who's he? I'm like, I'm tired of this crap. Even when I seen there was something on GameStop where some guy, this fool guy, came into a store knocking things over, talking about he want to be called a woman. I'm like, what is this? What is? Have we come to this? Have we come to this? Have we come to a point where, okay, what's next then? That's right. What's next is what happened at Lot's door. I seen those angels up in there. I need your children. I need those men who came up in there so we can deal with them. That's what's next. Knocking on your door, dragging you out and dealing with you. Yeah. Would you have to say?
Kind of aligns with the point I was saying earlier. Like, if I want to identify as a rock right now, I could. If I want a sensitivity class on transvestite or whatever, out there, I can do that. But as soon as it comes down to being an Israelite, that's still not a thing. I can't identify as an Israelite for some reason without it being an issue. So it's the one thing in the earth that you can't, it's still not going to be allowed. But they're doing this in the military like that.
Yeah, but really what's going on, they're just doing this to keep those who believe in God on our heels. Mm-hmm. It's really them getting in front of it so we're not actually being proactive in actually, dealing with this assault, this psychological, social assault. So they do all these things. They're keeping us on our heels where at all times we must be conscious of how these people feel. And is this La La Land or something? What about how I feel? What about how we feel who believe in God? Does that have any place anymore? I mean, Lord have mercy. What have we come to? What have we? Let me show you this real quick. It doesn't make any sense. I'm like, Lord have mercy. Doesn't make any sense. Let me show you what happened here. Cutting loose for no reason. Oh, where's that? Fair use.
Ma'am, once again, ma'am. I said.
Hold up. Fair use. You gotta bring some order here. What's happening here?
90 seconds.
No, you said sir. Once again, it's ma'am.
Well, this video from right here in New Mexico is going viral online. A transgender woman losing her cool when she says an employee at an Albuquerque video game store called her sir instead of ma'am. The video has been viewed more than 1 million times.
This dude tearing shop up.
On YouTube over the last 2 weeks. And it's getting people talking.
Fair use.
Lots of people have made fun of the woman for her outburst. Others say she did the right thing by defending her gender identity. Now, only on 4, she's telling her side of the story to Kai Porter.
Excuse me, it's ma'am. It is ma'am.
It's the video seen by millions. Tiffany Moore, a transgender woman who recently started her transition, yelling at an employee inside this Albuquerque GameStop. Moore says the cashier repeatedly called her sir instead of the gender pronoun she identifies with while she was trying to return a game she bought for her son.
Ma'am. Once again, ma'am.
I said both of you.
No, you said sir. Once again, it's ma'am.
I actually said both of you guys.
I don't know what's going on, man. The military is enforcing this now. If they're not just opening the door for an invasion, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what they're doing.
10 seconds.
When are the righteous going to stand up and say, you know what, we're not playing this game anymore? Because obviously they're not going to stop. Lord, in the morning. 706 area code. Only a few more calls. 706.
Yes. Hello? Can you hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear. You're live with the Gathering of Christ Church.
Shalom, elders. Yeah, elder, I was
hold up, brother.
Pondering.
Hold up, brother. Hold up, brother. I'm going to bring you right back in, but I need to say this. 706, I'm going to bring you right back. I need to say this. Why is there such an issue when we identify as Israelites? That's the pronoun I would like to be identified as. See that? What's wrong with that? It seems like anybody can be, you can be in La La Land and be an erased gender, whatever. There's one white guy that Shapat pulled out a few years ago who wanted to be a Dalmatian, where his wife was walking him, and this dude, grown dumps on people's lawns because she's walking them every day. But yet I cannot identify as an Israelite. What's wrong with this world? I'm like, that's what I identify as. Everyone has a problem with us saying we're Israelites, but people can identify as women, men, dogs, anything. Like you said, a rock if they would like to. This man was taking full-grown man dumps on people's lawn, having his, look it up, y'all laughing. His wife had to walk him every day. I know, like, walk him? What do you mean walk him? That's because he waited until his stomach was turning up and needed to be on someone's lawn. It's enough already, man. 706 area code.
Yes. Shalom, elders.
Shalom.
I was thinking I was thinking this right here. Would you agree that it seems that I agree that it's a united front against the righteous, but what I was thinking was how they're doing it, like they've always done it throughout history, through politics, through education, and through religion. Every time the Amaleks or the Edomites conquered our people and went into these other nations, this is what they set up. And I've learned that through academies, that this is how they set up and this is how they weaponize everything against us. Like you said, nothing has ever changed. They coming at us through education to get our kids. They coming at us through politics, influencing our people that haven't fully awakened. I believe they are awakening, but we need for them to speed up the awakening some kind of way. But I was looking at the way they was attacking us through education, politics, and religion.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, they got us so confused about, the Bible. Well, those of us that are not awake. But they got our people so confused. They don't know which way to go. They toss up all about. So I'm just thinking about those three things right there.
Yeah.
This is what they're doing.
Mm-hmm. So the question is, what are we doing to counterbalance that? We know that Satan is working on from every angle to destroy, distract, confuse, and to totally eradicate those who believe in God. But the question is, what are we doing to counterbalance this? What can we do in our regular life that can help against this psychological and spiritual assault that they have posed against the righteous?
Well, I think that what we got to do is finish the race. We got to finish what we've begun. I mean, we got to we've got to finish the race. We got to be examples in society every day. We got to uphold Christ before every man and woman and child that we may face every day, because that's the only way it's going to spread is by us being examples. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I find it more effective than speaking to people. When they see you living a righteous life, they want to be righteous. You know, even if, you know, we start off and we begin to be annoying to people about when we first awaken. But after we awaken and we started growing the wisdom, I found myself, because I had a temperament about, I was so passionate about it when I first found the truth. When I found you guys on YouTube about 8-9 years ago, I was like, okay. I just, you know, I had to tone that down and be an example. Now I find those same people that I was preaching or teaching what I learned from you guys and from the Bible and from all the books that I was getting, you know, that they come to me now, you know. Well, what you think about this? Because they know the things that you've prophesied and have given to us through the word, the understanding of the mysteries of the Bible. They've seen it come to pass, so they're asking me questions now. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not saying sit back, but I'm saying continue in the way that we've learned. Those of us that have awakened, we must continue in the way. We must be that example. We must be that light in the earth on the hill, shining bright for those that are in the darkness still to find their way.
Well, brother, hey, you doing what you're supposed to do with the knowledge, and that's great, because one thing about this so-called Code 45 campaign that they have, this Code 45 thing they have that they call a disease, it is shaking people to a degree where at least they'll listen. At least they're looking for answers now. So it's the opportunity now for those who are in the know to utilize that light the Most High have given us. So I'm gonna tell you, I mean, let me tell you, we can't keep the lines open enough. The emails are still fluttering in, and still, guess what? It's people are looking for answers, or they were listening on the side for a while, and it was this event that made them say, you know what? I think it's time for me to bring my brick, because something is about to go down. So if anything I can say positive has come out of this, is that the people who were using life as a distraction are honed in and making choices now for the good. So all right, thank you, brother.
I got one more point, Elder.
Okay,
and I want to tell you this, and you've mentioned it before.
Yeah.
I see that there's one thing people looking at what COVID is doing negatively. But we need to be focusing on what God is doing through COVID. Because it's creating strong black families again.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We becoming closer again.
Yeah.
Regardless of the narrative they putting out in the media, we are becoming a unified people again.
Yeah.
This thing is making us unified again. You know, we still got some wild roots in there, some wild weeds that going to have to be plucked. But for the most part, God is bringing his people back where they're sitting and listening, trying to hear truth. Like you said, they're trying to find their way. So we got to continue to be the example. That's all I wanted to say. And bless you.
Bless you, brother.
Bless you, my brother.
Thank you, brother. I really appreciate that. And he made some great points. Is that one thing I am noticing is that when this thing happened and people were alone or whatever the case might have been, we started to reflect and think and started to understand the importance of family. We were taking family and having someone to support us or be behind us or help us with things for granted. When this whole thing stopped, that was a reality check. Like, hold up now. I'm out here by myself. So, yes. And what's going on here? Y'all think we playing around? Transgender man identifies as a dog and says chasing sticks and playing on all fours has brought him closer to his husband. I'm gonna tell you this. This is just one. This is one of many. Now, if you want to play into these delusions, understand it'll never stop. Imagine this full-grown man taking care of his business on your property. It doesn't stop, folks. Next call. 318 area code.
Hello.
Shalom.
Hello. Shalom, Elder. How you doing?
How you doing? I identify as the heir to the richest man on earth. That's my pronoun. So that we can get our people, moved into a better location and some food and garden. I identify as one who owns about 100,000 acres of fertile land. That's what I identify as. We can't identify as nothing. But go on, sister.
Okay, Elder. I was on yesterday because I was hoping that you would come on. It's been a lot of things taking place. My cousin Toya, she told me I had something for you to watch about a month or so ago.
Yeah.
And I've been watching ever since. And I realized that I've been lied to basically all these 28 years, because I was brought up in a Baptist church and everything. And I had stopped going about 6-7 years ago, stopped going to church because of all the lies and everything. But it's been a lot of things that you have said that have come to pass, a lot of things that have been happening. Like right now, here in Texas, Louisiana, lights and everything is shut off, water is cut off and everything. People, the stores don't have anything. They're shutting down stores. It's a lot of things going on, and, I just don't know.
Well, sister, what are you doing in the midst of it? Because I'm sure that you understand that we've been talking about these things for a while, and when I spoke to Bishop Azan, all things are a go, where people, there's an inconvenience, but they have backup water and everything, food, and we just going about life the way it should be under these circumstances.
Yes, I have prepared. My cousin, she, once she introduced us, I've been watching y'all and everything. I have been prepared, and I have prepared for this and everything. But it's just so many people that haven't, and they haven't woke up, and it's just, seeing a lot of people suffering right now. It's just, it's just really hard. A lot of people don't want to wake up, and I wish you could have this. I mean, every day, because my cousin brought everything to my attention, and I've tried to tell my family, like, with this shot and everything everyone's trying to get, and I have a grandfather that has been running around trying to get everyone to get the shot, and I haven't, I just don't understand. It's just, everything that you're saying, this is all just taking place now. And I mean, it's ridiculous.
Sister, you made some great points. The other thing is, the people that are actually trying to get people to take shots, the reason why they're doing it is because they probably took it and don't want to go out by themselves. So this is what making them feel safe. Yeah. Okay, if I get it, even though right now what's going on is it's an experiment on society. They told you right out that the normal testing time for anything that's shot in people is usually 5 years minimum before they roll it out on the population. So make no bones about it. This thing is a test on society.
It's your own family, trying to convince you, and I haven't even thought of it. Hasn't even been a thought came to my mind. It never made sense to me from day one to even think about, getting something shot up in me. But, you know, I've just had so many family members just take that way out, you know.
Yeah.
And it's a shame.
But their mindset,
not.
But I like to go into and examine their psyche. It's not that they're concerned about everyone else, but listen, what they do is they'll take it and say, well, okay, they'll feel more safe or secure to know that someone else got it. So if something happens, they're not going out by themselves. I'm going to tell you, some people are operating like that. Well, you know what I mean? Call you a few days. How you feel? Listen, I'm going to tell you, you know, because they don't want to be the odd man out, you know. They want to make sure, because everyone is looking at them like, listen, you're on this boat by yourself. They want to know that, okay, this is a great idea for everyone. And I'm like, listen, the best way that I'm going to go about it is, what would Christ do? And since y'all are part of this experiment, I'd rather sit back and see how this thing play out for y'all. Okay?
That's exactly what I'm.
Peace.
That's exactly what I'm doing.
All right, thank you,
sister.
sister.
I wanted to know that.
I only got a few more calls, but I'll let you ask the last question. Go ahead.
I was wondering, did y'all have anything out here? Because I'm way here in Louisiana, and I mean, all these churches. I mean, I hate to say it like this. You know, I don't want to be rude, but you know, they're lying to everyone.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're convincing everyone to get this shot, and I mean, it's, you know, they're lying and they're just leading everybody to hell, really. You know.
Well, sister,
that's
listen.
what's going on, and it's a shame.
Well, the whole thing is, we're gonna write down your number. What's your name?
Deidre.
Deidre, we do have some people in Louisiana. Okay, make sure. I was born in Lake Charles, actually. So we're gonna give you that. We're gonna get someone to call you. All right. And the reality is, based on what's about to go down with these people taking these agents, this is the end of the Black Christian Church anyway. There's not going to be a new generation. They're putting it's euthanization. It's euthanizing by stealth. So the Christian church is done anyway after this. So, and guess what? The same Satan is behind it. Well, it's not a good thing because they're targeting our people. But all in all, time and chance happen to all men. And if you trust the power structure, the powers that be more than Christ, you get what you get. You were supposed to be you were going to church for the kingdom of heaven and trusting and having faith in Christ. That's what I thought it was about. But
what I'm saying is they're, you know, with this, the homosexuality, the lesbian, they're letting it go on. They're having it in the church. They're even celebrating all the holidays. You know, they've led us wrong for all these years, and they're continuing to do it. And when I spoke up and have talked with a minister at one of the churches down here in the area where I live in Lake Providence, you know, and I had told him one time, I said, why do you, you know, I was telling him we were talking about the Sabbath and everything, and he said, no, we're going to continue to have church on. I left ever since then because he said we're going to continue to have church on Sunday because, you know, everything that you're talking about, it'll upset the elder people. And we've been doing things a certain way for generations. And you know, this has been going on for years. And I don't want to, you know, we don't want to rile up everyone and get people upset. Okay. So he's going to, you know, they're going to continue to have holidays, celebrate pagan holidays, do everything because they don't want to upset the church.
Oh, but they'll upset God. Well, thank you, sister. Let me get your name again.
Deidre, Dedra.
Deidre. Right here, 318. Okay, Deidre, you'll have a call to be invited into the congregation, all right?
Thank you.
Bless you. Hey. If your light be darkness, how great is that darkness? 614 area code. 2 more and we're out. And then I'll give Elder Lawyer the last moment here. 614 area code.
Shalom, shalom, shalom. Thank you so much for taking my call. Oh, my heart's about to jump out of my chest, but I'm gonna say this real quick.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, goodness, the topic tonight. I mean, GOCC is a perfect example of being unified in this wickedness. Since December 5th, when the
Unified
my feast
against the
began
wickedness.
up until.
Unified against the
Oh yeah,
wickedness.
yeah,
Really
against.
clear.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm
okay.
sorry, sir. I
All
do
right.
apologize. Thank you for
No
that.
problem.
Against the wickedness, because since the feast began December 5th up until just today, oh my goodness, I was under so many different attacks. Having family, in different like Columbus, Detroit area, and I thank the Most High so much for the elders in that area because they took me in as I was like trying to, assist with a family member, but I was just being attacked. Oh my goodness. And I was given some oil, to anoint the house, anoint myself. And I had another elder actually anoint me. And I am just so excited, for just the strength and, the teachings and just, the unity that we have, So that really protected me against the wickedness that was just thrown at me that, it's just unreal. I'm still trying to wake up from what happened. So I just wanted to give that testimony. So many names I could start naming, but I don't want to leave anybody out. But I'm just so thankful. I am so thankful. So Shalom, thanks for taking my call. And Shalom, look forward to seeing you guys at Passover.
Oh, yeah, Passover. Hey, it's going to be a beautiful one. Thank you, sister.
Shalom.
Shalom. Oh, what a blessing. I mean, it's good to know that our brothers and sisters have options and have more than hope and belief in a time in which this earth is totally confused. It's good to see so many of our people understand this book and believe in Christ honed in at the right time. This is the time right here, folks. This is the time that the prophets and the teachers and those of our forefathers have longed to see. The time of the coming of our Lord and Savior, and knowing that you're the soldiers, you're the people that the Most High have awakened to oppose it. I mean, what a time. What a good time. 432 area code. Last call, and then I'll give it to Elder Lawyer. And we'll...
Hey, Elder, I made it.
You made
Shalom.
it? Shalom. Talk to me.
I made it. So the reason why I believe that we're not united, well, not us, particularly GOCC, because I'm part of the Dallas party, but so-called believers aren't united is because we keep nitpicking at each other on like little stuff or sometimes even big stuff, which always cause a rift and dissension and a division amongst brethren that are supposed to be sticking together against the wicked ones and fighting against these things. But we can't do that if we constantly fighting each other. So that's all I wanted to say, Elder, as well as I've been in the truth now for almost a year, and I thank you. I thank my father-in-law, and I thank the Most High for allowing me to receive the truth and get my house in order. So thank you for the work that you and Elder Lawyer have done. I want to do a shout-out to Officer Anad for always answering my calls, sending me messages, and all praise be to the Most High God. Thank you.
Well, brother, all praises be to the Most High, and I'm so glad that you called in, brother. And hey, here we go. Hopefully, don't forget, the first shall be last and the last shall be first. So just because you just came in, don't believe that you're going to get any less. The Most High will use those who come in that last hour to do a great work, brother. And hey, welcome to the work. All right. With that,
thank you. Elder, can I make a statement, one last statement regarding, because I live in Texas and we've been having power outages all throughout Texas, as you know. I just thought it was a hidden agenda to attack our brothers and sisters because we live, before we received the truth, we moved to a Gentile community, and we're the only black people in our neighborhood. And we have friends that live in different parts of our town that live in the black neighborhoods, whereas mixed with, the other tribes, and their powers constantly went out, their water went out. But I noticed anytime I would drive to my house, the street lights will all be off. But anytime I would come back to this particular portion of my town, all the lights are on, the water's off, everything was running. So they are trying to specifically target our people, starting at the very bottom and work their way up until they get everybody to conform to their systems.
Well, I knew they would use this as a cloud to, they claiming that they attacking Republicans, and that's really what it is. How long? All year they was talking about last year, the grid is going to go out, the lights are going to go out. You had so-called Biden make a report that it's going to be what you would call a black or a dark winter, right? And now you see there's a blackout in the country, number one. I mean, in a state, number one, who's resisting the power, trying as much as they can to hold on to the Second Amendment. Okay, at the same time, we knew they're going to use this as a cloud to attack, because who suffer more in these circumstances than any other people when the lights go out? The poor. The poor people, because the other people already are in a bartering system. I'm speaking of predominantly those that are in the red states, the white people in the suburbs, the white people that have their own ranches and all that. They're used to operating almost off grid anyway. They have their backup generators. They have their foods in storage. Usually when these things happen, the poor is disproportionately suffering. So this is an attack on the poor, and it's a political attack, so that the CNN and others can say, well, the governor is responsible for this. Because why? They have a red state governor who's in resistance of their reset. So this is working on every level. But this is more so a time than ever for us to rally together and help one another. What the devil is going to use for bad, we can use for good and begin to help each other like we once did before this. Okay? With that, brother, we have, all right, and we have to break down. And I want to say in conclusion, Shalom, brother, very, very, very good call. At the end of the day, we have to decide as a people on two things. What is our culture? What is that? I'm not talking about the Africa stuff and all that. What is our culture? Because when you go into Africa and all that, they're confused and divided into what being an African is. So no more. We've tried this Africa stuff and all that. What is the culture we must unite under? And what is the code or laws which signifies or identifies that culture? This is what we have to figure out, and figure out fast. I believe that that culture is being an Israelite. That we were the people who were enslaved once before, and through disobedience, according to what is written in the old tables, the Torah, that we're suffering the curses for disobedience, for sinning against that God who delivered us out of Egypt. And that was our original culture. That we brought civilization to Egypt. This is not what I believe. Historically, this is what I know. It was our forefathers in the line of Shem, all the way to Abraham, who opposed the evil of the Mesopotamian area led by the Babylonian Nimrod. It was our God who opposed and overthrew Pharaoh, who worshiped Satan. And I believe it's that same culture and understanding and code that could bring us back on one accord. It's the satanic hive mind against who? The minority, the remnant. We have to get on code. Let's stop talking about getting on code and figure out what that was. Everyone, we always talk about in the community, Elder Lawyer. It's time for us to be on code with one another. Well, listen, the Most High gave us a very convenient manual to say, here's a starting point. Here's a people who are one people oppressed just like we are in America. Okay, here's their culture. This is what they eat. These are the days they celebrate. These are the things they won't allow to destroy their children. They are moral people with a law and stand for righteousness. They are against Satanism. They're against witchcraft. They're against anything that would destroy family. What's wrong with that code? So with this, when I ask that question, is there a unified front against wickedness? Yes. It's called Israelites. The chosen people. We need to get on code and have a culture. Go back. We don't have to create this. It's right there. The manual's here. The same book that everyone coincidentally is against. Why do you? They are against us. Think about this, Elder Lawyer. They're unified against us as black people, or us as minorities. And the same people that are unified against us are unified against the Bible. You think that's a coincidence? Maybe it's because we are the people of the Bible. And instead of talking about getting on code, let's go back and understand what that code is together and create a culture to defend our family going forward. We need to learn this culture, the old way. Elder Lawyer, you have the last word. Yeah, you went out. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, yes, sir. As you were stating, the issue with this talk of getting on code is the fact that it seems like the code is made up or being made up as we go along. Like, here's the new thing we have to get on code with, black people, that I just came up with or I just made up. When the reality is that the Bible, what makes the Bible so powerful is that the record,
Thank you
the
for
commandments
using
in the
Blog
book
Talk Radio. Goodbye.
have already been codified, right? It's a complete record of laws, statutes that are added and put in place for understanding of those particular laws, commandments, and then also judgments for not keeping those laws, statutes, and commandments. It's already there. We have wisdom literature to give you wisdom in the commandments. We have a gospel to tell us the redemption in the book as a people. A lot of us don't realize that the state that we're in does not have to be a continual cycle or a continual state. We can be redeemed through the teachings of the gospel and through Christ. But we have to be willing to open up the book and receive the book and stop putting the book to the side and claiming that it's somebody else's book when you're the people suffering for not keeping the book. So with that, I say blessings, shalom, and you all have a blessed night.
That's right. We shall go throughout the earth, teach all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, putting our people back on code. Some of these things out there, it sounds good on the surface, but it's still divisive. A nation divided against itself cannot stand. It's time for us to come back under the word of God. With that, I'm going to say shalom. May the Most High be with you. Stay prayed up, sin not. And that's right, we're going to send you off. And I thank you. We appreciate all the brothers and sisters who have actually called in. Great points you've made. We appreciate that. We also appreciate those who continue to support the work. Okay. Now, we would like to also say, because we have a lot of work to do, we would like you all to, if you can, help financially support this church. Okay. For those who don't have Cash App, go to gatheredofchrist.org. Go to donate, and there's many ways, depending on, what options that you fall under, that you can actually donate to help this work. Because when the grid go down, when things happen, we are working on options, and it can only happen through your support. We thank you for those who have supported us, but go to gatheredofchrist.org, hit donate if you don't have Cash App, and that's another way you can actually support the work. Okay. Even if you have money orders, you can send a money order, 2000 Hamilton Street, P.O. Box 946, Philadelphia, PA 19130. Okay, that's the P.O. Box here in Philadelphia. Okay, if you're sending to elders, you can send it in the name of, my world name is Richard Shepherd. Okay, you can send it there if it's just a donation to elders. If you are donating to the church, you can send it to the Gathered of Christ Church. Okay, these are ways where if you don't have an electronic way of dealing with it, you can still use the P.O. Box while that's still available. Okay, but again, if you don't have Cash App, you can always go to gatheredofchrist.org. And under donate, and I'm sure there's a button you can push on that fit the specifics of how you can personally donate to the work if this work have benefited your life. If you have Cash App for our weekly broadcast, you would use the top Cash App, $GOCC 144 donate. That's strictly for the Wednesday and Sabbath classes. Okay? If you are a part of a church that used to gather, but you had to slow up due to COVID or whatever the case is, and want to donate to your region, and you're in the church already, only then will you use the bottom Cash App to support the work. Okay, I wanted to put that out there because what? We're going to need resources to put into something tangible to help our people when this stuff breaks down. Like I said earlier, we're already planting gardens, and I'm talking about farming and all that, so that our people, if it be the Most High's will, if food run out, even though we're planning to have extra food, we have brothers and sisters planting with water and gardens and all that, and have storages for food. We already have that amongst our church. We've been dealing with that for years, so we're not worried about that. But suppose some of that run out. We're going to need to have farms to be able to help our people. These are the things we're working on in the background. And it cannot happen without your support. Okay, so I want to say thank you all. And we're not just going to be doing it here. We're going to be doing it in other countries, South America, Africa, to make sure that we have gardens and farms to help our people even beyond Babylon. With that, I'm going to say shalom. May the Most High, I thank you, other lawyer, for your support in being here this evening. Yirah. And we're going to conclude it with our song. Thank you, other lawyer. With a nice song, Brotherly Love. We thank you for all your support. Again, shalom. Brotherly Love.
So much pain, life took us separate ways. Both did some hurtful things, but it's not over. You know that we both care. So can we forgive and forget? I need you here. Remember the ups and downs, the trials we've been through. See, there is no one on this earth who can replace you, my brother. Life is too short, don't hold no grudges. No grudges. You are my blood. We must forgive and love each other. No matter what life throws at us, we must keep brotherly love. Searched high and low, where did you go? Pick up your phone. Oh, brother, do you hear me calling? See, I apologize. Hey. This bond will never die. Remember the ups and downs and trials we've been through. So I'll keep on, darling. I'll
Amalek be trying to demonize the children of Israel. But we're not the villain. So we're knocking on the doors of the synagogue. Open up. We're not the villain. They're portraying us evil through their media.
You don't know half the story. All you see is fame and glory. Following me, ducking behind trees, inquiring to harm me. I may not be right in your eyes. I've only come to realize I am your line. Now it's time I draw the line and tell my side against what's been publicized.
They're lying.
Those you can't control, yet ignore those who are worse than me. Does one mistake turn me a villain? See, there's abuse one can't see, like the scars you left in turn. Now it's time I draw the line and tell my side against what's been publicized. Story is still in life. Don't know how it feels on this side. Follow away every day, treat me like I'm on there. Every day alive. Don't you live your life, and I will live mine. You might not what you looking for. You don't know the feeling. Can you say I'm the villain? No, I'm not a villain. I don't know what you want from me. You don't know what you look. No, you don't know the feeling. Can you say I'm a villain? No, I'm not a villain. I'm not a villain. I don't know what you want from me. No. I'm not a villain, no. I'm not a villain.
Shalom. Good night. We're not the villain.